We are back with another episode of Take Cover. Got Jeremy Drahos in here with us.
Hola.
What's going on? Make sure you speak into your mic since you don't have your headset on, you fucking rebel.
I don't want to hear myself.
So what have you been up to, man? I haven't seen you in a long time.
Work. That's about it.
Yeah?
Work.
Where are you working at now?
Rectum cable.
Rectum cable? You still field teching it up?
Yeah, fun stuff.
Slinging the cable?
Yeah.
Yeah? How's it going?
It's all right.
What's the craziest shit that's happened since I don't work there anymore? I don't get to hear the stories.
Well, I think yours was my favorite story.
Which
like
one?
with the old guy.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. So we're at this house, and he's, I don't know, it was a really shitty job, and he came to help me out. And this really old dude, he had internet problems. And so we do some shit. We're there for a while. Anyway, he's doing something on his computer while I'm outside finishing up something. And then he comes out and he tells me, he's like, man, you took pictures of it too, didn't you?
Yeah, the guy's desktop icons.
Yeah, so he has his web browser open. Oh, excuse me. And there are all these links to like these X videos, like porn site. And what was it? Something like two daddies and a little boy or something?
Yeah, two daddies fuck son.
Yeah,
all kinds of creepy gay porn.
Yeah, but then what did the guy tell you whenever you were leaving? Something like, I don't know.
I don't
He
remember.
said something about, he enjoyed watching us work or something.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said. Because you started dying laughing.
I know, because like,
Yeah.
back then you looked like you were 12. Like,
I still
now
look like
it's
I'm 12.
I know, now it looks like you might have aged to like maybe you're preteen.
maybe like a 15.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
14, but
Yeah, dude, that was because that guy was super old too. He was like, what, 65?
Yeah,
He
and
had white hair, and he was a smoker, so he had like the halfway yellow mustache.
oh man, it was
God.
terrible.
Yeah.
But what sucks is
And then we tried to wall fish it through a window. Basically, a wall fish.
Oh yeah, there's a hole there. That's not going to work.
A wall fish, for anybody who doesn't know, is where you take the cable and you run it in the attic, and then you drop it down the wall cavity in between the two pieces of drywall, and you bring it out. Well, we were trying to do that, but what we failed to realize was directly above where we were working was like a port to see from the living room into the kitchen. So it's just this big, like 2 foot tall by 5 foot wide window into the kitchen. We quickly realized that wasn't going to work. But after we had cut the fitting off already, so it was
Yeah.
super short.
Yeah, that
Trying to put a
sucked.
cable fitting on there.
But then after that, I started calling him Fetish.
Fetish. Oh.
Fetish.
One
Yeah.
of those demotivational poster pictures where
Yeah.
it's got like a picture of something, and
Yeah.
then there's like a bold title and then a subtitle, and it says Fetish, and then underneath it says "Old people want to enter you."
He officially put me on Reddit. Yeah.
Officially.
He took one of my Facebook profile
Yeah.
profile pictures,
It's actually his contact.
even though you're not even on Facebook.
Oh, I hate Facebook.
Why aren't you on Facebook? What do you got against Facebook?
I mean, the killer was probably because I used to have it for my website, but then I think the killer was the privacy policy or the terms of service in 2015, where they made it to where any device that you use to access their service, you give like explicit permission that they can access anything on your device, photos, text messages, phone calls. Pretty much, they own the device that you use to use their service.
Oh, really?
Yeah, a lot of people had a lot of gripe with that. And I mean, I get why. People
Yeah.
like their privacy.
I can't zoom in on it, but yeah.
Show the cameras over here.
Good luck.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
itty bitty.
It's really small.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, good times. I got tired of climbing fucking poles. That's what I got tired of. There's a bunch of sketchy ass poles around town too.
Yeah, especially in trailer parks, the really thin ones. But.
Yeah, I still have that picture on my phone where I had my ladder on the strand, just a metal wire up there, and I look over and the strand is being held to the pole by a piece of ground wire somebody had wrapped around the bolt and then wrapped around the strand, and that's all that was supporting it.
Man,
Yeah.
that would really suck.
And then of course my supervisor was just a dick, so that was the biggest reason I
I
left.
can't speak to that.
Yeah, you can't speak
My
to that at all.
supervisor.
Oh,
Still.
yeah, it is just okay. Yeah, yeah, he's a cocksucker though.
Well, I can't speak to that.
No
No
comment.
comment. Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, everything's wild now. Everything's all connected through social media now, and
Oh yeah.
like Google, like your Google accounts, your Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and all that stuff, and everything's collecting data on you.
Yeah, go to
It just
google.com/history. You'll see your entire search history. Like it's even got
Wait. Can we clear that?
Yeah, but it's got GPS history. So like if you have an Android phone, It knows everywhere you've ever been.
Yeah.
But you can go on there, but I think you have to like tell it to log that. I don't think it logs it by default, but I didn't
You never know. You never know. Could log it by default until you turn it off.
Yeah, exactly.
When you hit the agree to terms and services.
Yeah.
That's what bothered so many people. Is it was probably default set to, just go ahead and send whatever.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's just like I think it was the Telecommunications Act of '96 or something, where it was basically all cell phone manufacturers had to make it to where the GPS on the cell phone would like store location with an accuracy up to like 300 feet. And then, because I remember back in the day, probably about 7 or 8 years ago, Apple got into some shit because they were logging everywhere you were.
Right.
And like whenever you would sync with iTunes, it would send the information to Apple. And then Congress was like, well, why'd you do that? Blah, blah, blah. And it's like, well, you guys kind of made it the law, so we obeyed the law.
Right.
Yeah, we've definitely let technology come a lot into our lives. As far as, I mean, tracking. Hey, like the
Technology's
Snap.
got me to come along.
Yeah. There's the Snapchat update. Did you hear about that?
I don't use Snapchat, no.
Well, okay, so basically the last Snapchat update made it to where if you go to Snapchat and you zoom out, then anyone who's in your Snapchat friends list, you can see where they are. It shows like a person standing there, their little Bitmoji, whatever it's called. And if you're together with other people, it has you all standing in the same circle. It was like, yeah, it was like
So
cheaters already getting caught with Snapchat.
Who does Snapchat decide is the pivot man if you're all in the circle?
Probably the woman.
That's a good point. Man. I don't know. It's true though. I mean, think about like day-to-day life. You can't go without your cell phone. It's so hard to go without social media or anything like that because everybody's hooked in. You don't want to feel not.
Excluded.
You don't want to feel excluded. Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It's really weird because I don't see us going back. You know, who would want to?
Yeah,
you know,
I would.
Yeah, you've been off.
That.
You've been off social media for 2 years now.
I use Twitter again, like because I've got a website and like I would just use social media to like spam my bullshit or whatever.
Yeah.
Whenever I'd write articles and shit, but like I use Twitter because I have what I call random ejaculations of cognitive diarrhea, where like just the dumbest shit suddenly pops into my head, and sometimes I don't have anybody to share it with.
Yeah.
Because like usually it's really fucked up and unusual. Like earlier today I was wondering so if you fisted Jesus all the way to the shoulder and you had deodorant on and it rubbed up against his butthole and he farted, would his fart stink?
So I mean, you could do that without the fisting. You could just put deodorant on an asshole and find out that question.
No.
Well, that's
Because
assuming
that's
that
not-
Jesus' fart would stink to begin with,
Oh, good call.
or that he would even fart.
Yeah. Oh,
'Cause-
if you get to the shoulder, he's farting.
I guess if he's in human form, what if he's in otherworldly form?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Like whichever. Like okay, if you fist the Holy Spirit to the shoulder, you might get some holy shit. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know. You should test that.
We
Just
should
next time, put some deodorant on your asshole and find out,
Or we can
man.
just ask a Catholic priest. They've been
Oh no!
in all kinds of buttholes.
Jerry Sandusky. Yep, it's a good example. I'm such a humanitarian.
Wasn't he a football coach?
Football coach. He had so many programs helping with underprivileged kids, abused kids, shit like that.
Were the abused kids like the ones that he abused?
Yeah,
Or
yeah, that's
it's
the
like,
fucked
hey,
up
let me
thing.
fuck you, and then you can come into this club.
This program.
You can be in the I fucked you club, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
help you because I fucked you.
Jerry Sandusky.
It was some messed up
Wasn't
shit.
he like? I wasn't really like involved in that story.
I
too
hope
much.
not.
Wasn't he? Wasn't he like a big popular figure? Like everybody liked.
Well, yeah, he's a sports coach. So I mean, it's like at the college level, it's like some of those guys are really famous. And I think he was. I'm not. I mean, it was at Penn State. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
I want to say Penn State, and
Yeah,
that's what
definitely
made
Penn
it
State.
so.
Now, I want to say now he's in the state pen. So.
Yes, you would be correct. I would hope he would be there.
How quickly the
He's
tides
probably
have
the priest
changed.
there.
Yeah. For anyone, we are not sponsored by Busch Light, by the way.
Not yet.
Nor
Not yet.
Catholicism.
Yeah, not yet. That's just Drahos's preferred beer. Jay, what was your name for Drahos? I told him that we had a Jeremy Drahos coming on the podcast.
He said it to me via text, and when I talked to him, I was like, when's your buddy Jeremy Zora coming? And he was just like,
Zora. Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. That was the only thing I could recall. I was like, that's not even close. I was like, damn.
It could be close. So, like, have you ever seen The Fifth Element?
No.
I mean, it's been like 5 or 6
Do you
years.
remember the bad guy that like had the shit that was like halfway over his face, and he's like, "Bring me the stones." Like if I do my like my hair is all retarded, so like if I go like this, I look like that guy because it comes like part of the way down his face.
Dude, you look like the guy off Charlie's Angels. The creepy guy who's always cutting their hair.
I don't remember that.
You don't?
I mean,
He's like the villain in the entire movie.
Guy. I probably look like every creepy guy because I am a creepy guy. So we all kind of look alike.
Just goes.
Okay, let me give you an example. So hopefully nobody steals my $1 billion idea. So I was in Vegas for DEF CON earlier.
What's DEF CON?
It's a hacker convention.
Okay.
Oh,
Creative
shit.
convention. So
Hacker
like
convention.
all these chicks, like I
We've
don't know
seen
if you've
all
ever been to Vegas, but like
No.
the chicks are ridiculous. They're so fucking hot. But anyway, like there were a lot of them that looked like their outfits probably should have come with a rape kit. I don't know if it did or not. It may have been a necessity. But anyway, so my buddy and I, we get to the airport, and I love women. Oh my God. So I can't stop staring at women. So, shit. My girlfriend might watch this.
Doubt it.
All right. Anyway, so I had an idea, because I forgot my sunglasses. I was like, shit, I didn't bring any sunglasses, because I'm like looking, I can't stop staring at everything. So I go to the airport, gift shop or whatever, and I get some sunglasses, and then
For $40.
no, they were
You
like
paid for
15.
those. Yeah.
It wasn't too bad, but they actually weren't too bad. Like the last time we were in Vegas for DEF CON, I bought some like aviators that were, I think they're like $20, and they broke in like 2 days. So, but anyway, so I had an idea because my buddy and I, we went to In-N-Out at like 2:00 in the morning, and it's a burger joint, and I can't wear sunglasses at night. I mean, I guess I can, but then I can't see properly when I'm trying to look.
Right.
So I had an idea for something. Instead of Ray-Bans, call them stare bands. So have just non-tinted sunglasses, but with a reflective coating. So kind of like aviators, like, with a mirror on
Right.
the front.
Yeah.
But it doesn't lower the light. It doesn't dim the light, So
Is
it's
there not already something like that? I feel
I
like
don't know.
there has to be.
But what I think is I should make these and call them stare bands. Because when I'm staring at your ass, you don't know I'm staring at your ass.
Yeah. That makes sense. I've seen something somewhere where this guy's like hack to get around that was if you see like a hot woman coming and you know you're going to want to look her ass, just look, like just prematurely look. And then when she walks past you, glance. That's her fault, right?
Oh no, it depends where she is. Because like I'm creepy. Like I get when I say I'm creepy, I believe it. I feel like it's an understatement. So like I rubberneck and everything. Like they can walk by and I just like kind of like I just keep going. Like
The whole way.
Like, I'm all in. So like,
Does it ever work for you? Do they ever turn
no.
around like, oh god damn, he's checking me out?
Oh. Well, maybe. And they're like, oh, hey, big bulky boyfriend, he's checking me out.
Pull out a stick of deodorant.
Yeah.
You want to test a theory?
We can get all the way down.
You down for some science?
You want her next queef to smell floral? I'll play bloody knuckles on her cervix. Don't spit on your laptop. Though.
Yeah, that would be catastrophic.
What kind of what's the most valuable thing you've learned at DEF CON?
It's not really that I'm learning anything valuable. It's that like it's something that you're interested in, and like not this time, but the last time I went for DEF CON 23, which was the year before last. There was some cool shit about this dude had some DLL injection shit where you can like basically intercept data before it's encrypted and after it's decrypted, so that basically encryption becomes useless. But it you have to have like local access and shit like that. But like it's just a good time. It's a lot of fun. A lot of good hardware in the shop. I got a new wireless antenna. It was pretty sweet. And
A wireless antenna?
oh yeah,
How the fuck does that work?
Well, it's this wireless antenna. Like, have you not ever seen like a wireless adapter? It's got an antenna.
Oh yeah.
Well, this
okay.
one's got like they have different gains. Like this one's like a 9 dBi antenna, and it came with a free desktop stand So what I do is like I just stick it out the window and have my netbook there, just kind of grabbing handshakes for wireless.
Oh, there you go.
Anyway.
So just like free Wi-Fi, basically.
No, the way wireless cracking works.
We're
is-
gonna have to put you in a normal chair if you don't chill out. You are all the way away.
So the way wireless hacking works, or if you want to like crack someone's passwords, you have to get something called a handshake, and that's basically whenever the client authenticates with the access point. And the easiest way to force this to happen is doing an attack called a deauthorization or a deauth attack. So basically, you spoof the MAC address of the access point, telling basically the client, "Get the fuck off here."
Yeah.
And then the client reconnects, and then that's when you grab the handshake, and then you can go home and run it against like any dictionaries you have and stuff like that. Like I wrote or generated a dictionary that has every possible phone number in Owensboro, because a lot of people's Wi-Fi passwords are their phone number.
Yeah.
So this way,
A lot.
if it's your phone number, boom, I just cracked it.
Yeah.
And then, well, I don't want to talk about the cracking script because that has stuff to do with
Secrets.
it.
Yeah. A lot
Fair
of
enough.
secrets. Yeah, dude, I remember that doing passwords for everybody when I worked there. It's always the same answer when you ask them. All right, so what do you want the username and password for this to be? I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me call my husband.
I'm gonna make it 19 letters and numbers all jumbled together.
Nobody ever says that. They're just like, I'm like, well, do you want me to use your address? No. Want me to use your phone number? Yeah, I can remember. Yeah, I
That's
can do
the
that.
easiest one.
Yeah.
But I think mine's like 26 characters, and there's some uppercase, lowercase, escape characters, numbers.
All just prevents someone using your Wi-Fi. Is it that? Is it that big of a deal?
It's not that people are using your internet; it's that people also have access to your local network. So.
So like your search history, because that's the biggest threat on my computer. I don't have anything else. They can get on my Facebook or my search history. Yes.
Right. Well, so for example, let's say there's this thing called what's called IoT or Internet of Things. So that's like devices that are connected to the internet. My watch is connected to the internet. There are even dildos that are connected to the internet.
What's the point in that?
Like, I don't know.
Tell you moisture
have
level, fertility count. There has to be something scientific to it.
He's like, oh yeah, there's an egg drop in there. Yeah, it's for pregnancy.
This many days away from your
assistance.
period.
Yeah, exactly. But no, like the most common would be like IP cams. So like if you have like a security camera in your house, then it's on the internet, and more than likely it's also vulnerable to like cross-site scripting or like it has a shitty default root password. So people can get into it and make it what's called part of what's called like a botnet. So there's the Mirai botnet that's got I think 73 gigabits per second worth of data behind it, or bandwidth behind it.
So that's a lot.
Because there's so many devices that are like compromised. They can be webcam, they can be IP cams somewhere, they can be, anything, any kind of device. And basically it's on your internet, so it has the access to, well, here we have shitty internet, so the fastest it'll be is a 5 megabit per second. Whenever that's part of like 300 other devices, some of them might even have gigabit per second. So like if they got gig up, gig down, then I think the latest test was like, I think out of 300 devices, they had like 73 gigabits per second. So let's say your podcast server, if you have your own podcast server, then someone's like, oh, I'm butthurt because he wants to fist Jesus. So they can be like, oh, so I'm just going to do what's called a distributed denial of service attack, or a DDoS. So they just put in your IP address, and then it basically tells all of these compromised devices, let's just send a shit ton of traffic to this, and it overloads your internet, and you can't do anything. So your service is
okay.
down.
I remember back in like the 12-year-old Xbox days, we had this program like, it was called something stupid like Cain Enable or Able.
Yeah,
or
Cain Enable.
Yeah,
That's still around.
and basically if someone was like really pissing you off or you were on a kill streak and they killed you, you could just somehow, I forgot how we did it, but we found out how to kick them offline pretty much. You could just like the program lets you do it, and you just flood, I guess, their IP address with signals. I don't know how does that work.
Well, there was a thing.
I just know that we would click the go button and they would kick offline, and it was glorious.
Way back in the day, in the days of AOL, that was called punting, and there were different vulnerabilities in like the AOL instant messaging software and AOL software in general that you would just put in their screen name and they're gone. Then over the years, there have been other things like around the same time, Windows 98 had a what they called the OOB nuke or out of band. There's an out of band packet you could send to Windows 98 that would give you an immediate blue screen of death.
Oh Jesus!
And, yeah, so your computer's gone. And then there have been other things like Papa Smurf or what's called smurfing, which is where there were DNS. I can't remember if it was DNS servers that were vulnerable, but like there's this thing called an ICMP, which is like a ping. Like you remember pinging. So pinging is a form of ICMP, Internet Control Messaging Protocol. So to these specific
Look at
servers,
Jason's face right now.
You over here dropping fucking computer knowledge, man.
But so you could send like a ping request or an ICMP echo request to the server, and some of them were fucked up, and they would give you like 4 replies. So what would happen is you could do a scan and find like thousands of these vulnerable servers that would give too many replies. And then what you would do is you would spoof your IP as your target and then send an ICMP echo request. And then they would all like, it would be amplified because for every request you sent, 4 requests would come back. But they all go to this dude that's on dial-up. So
Gotcha.
that's when he's going offline. Then there were...
Yeah, this was on like Modern Warfare 2 in 2012.
Oh, okay. See, I think this... Well, Smurfing was still around because that was like the first kind of distributed denial of service attack. But then back in the dial-up days, there was a... what was the name of that vulnerability? It was like the ATH0, which AT is basically sending attention to your modem, and then H0 means hang up. So like this was more of a hardware vulnerability where you could send like a ping, but in the ping it said AT plus sign ATH0. So basically the 3 plus signs plus AT like got the attention of the modem, and then H0 was like hang up. So you could just disconnect somebody. They would like join, and then if you got their IP addresses, see ya.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. But then, if you really wanted to have fun with them, you could use other AT codes, have it hang up, and then dial a 1-900 number, and they wouldn't even know that their modem was dialing 1-900 number.
What's the 1-900 number?
So I forgot about this internet age.
Don't assume I know anything.
A long
Drahos.
time ago, many years ago, if you wanted to like call a number and jack off, these were like 1-900 numbers. They were like
so
toll
sex
numbers.
lines,
Yeah,
like chat
exactly,
lines.
exactly. They were sex lines, and you would call and be like, "Oh, if you want to talk to Brandy," like these commercials would be on TV, like on USA and shit at like 3:00 in the morning.
Oh, okay. Were they pretty good?
I don't know. I never called one.
Oh, really?
They were cool for pissing people off because you could make their modem hang up and dial one, and then it's like $4.99 a minute or something ridiculous.
Oh, jeez.
$4.99 a minute. How would that bill work? Do they send it to your house?
No, it gets billed to your telephone.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it comes
because...
in on your phone bill.
Yeah, that's right.
Son of a bitch.
Some dirty shit.
I remember getting those calls. You go to somebody's house.
What, you had a 1-900 number?
No,
So he's like, "Hey, fetish."
No, it was that old man trying to hide his fucking smoker's voice.
Hi, I'm a girl.
Yeah, I'm 23 years old. No, or you'd go to somebody's house and it would always be like the wife, and the husband would never be around, and it's like, yeah, these porn charges, they must have been a mistake. Nobody in this house watches porn.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, mistake.
Right. The mistake is when you shot your load on your remote.
Yeah.
That's the mistake. Yeah.
Dude, remotes are some of the nastiest things you'll ever touch in customers' houses.
Well, or that dude's mouse.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or like his
Yeah.
Or he's
Oh,
had his
yeah.
hair and his old wrinkly man balls. With
I didn't even
gray hair
think
and
about
the
that,
nut
dog.
Dust, just kind of, collecting. I would like that was probably the only time he's clothed in his house.
Oh,
While
yeah,
we were
probably.
there.
Yeah. And he's got like 2 dogs, too.
Poor dogs. So
The shit they've seen.
I had this philosophy, right? So, like, have you ever heard of Jif peanut butter?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the slogan is "Choosy moms, choose Jif." I've always assumed that
Is that the...
Is that the
that's
actual
their
slogan?
Yeah,
Oh.
Choosy
I
moms,
never
choose
knew
Jif.
that.
Or
Yeah,
at
I
least it used to be. So I didn't always think. I thought, a few years ago, I was like, well, it might be because it's thicker and it takes longer for the dog to lick off.
Oh.
Choosy moms, choose it. But yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Brutus really likes peanut butter.
Brutus. What a badass name. You never see any people named Brutus. If you did, you wouldn't fuck with
My
that
favorite
guy.
name's Rufus. There's a dude that lives at one of the apartments on Crittenden. I'm not going to give the address.
I hope not.
Like, even his license plate says Rufus. But yeah,
Really?
Yeah, he's awesome.
Is it his legal name or
That's
a
his
nickname?
name. Yeah, it probably says on his birth certificate. At least says it on his car and on his cable account.
So yeah, it's probably his name.
But yeah, that's cool.
Well, go ahead.
Is there anything you can do to not fall victim to some of this stupid shit? Is there some stupid shit that people do on the internet now that they're not aware of that might be compromising their security in some way? You know, like, is there like fucking like as simple as a fucking checkbox that you have clicked that?
Terms of service.
Yeah, I guess that's
For
true.
Facebook especially.
So what you want to do is don't click on I agree.
Ah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Like they
I
just
never
let
read
you
that
in.
shit. I
They're-
never-
Nobody does.
Never ever.
I
Didn't they
had
have a South Park episode about that?
They did.
South Park always hits the nail right on the head.
Yeah.
every
They
time.
Well, I
exaggerate
think with
everything
that
to the
episode,
fullest.
They were like balls to the wall, had like 2 days to make the episode and didn't know what to make the episode on or something. Because I think
Really?
like I think Comedy Central. Cock Central. They didn't really do like a documentary, but like they did kind of a like
Yeah.
following the crew of that episode. And I think what had happened was it was inspired because one of them had to do like an iTunes update or something, and they had to hit agree, and they realized that they've never read it. Nobody ever fucking reads it, and I don't remember what the premise of the episode was, but
That was it. Yeah,
Was it the
they
human
signed. Yeah, they
centipede?
signed up to be the human centipede people.
Yeah, of course. South Park, they take it way down into the fucking hole.
Took it all the way.
that's
That was one of the
that's
weirdest-
a long hole, depending on how many are in the human centipede. That continuity is kind of
It's absolutely one of the
It's
weirdest movies I've ever seen.
Oh, God.
It's kind of one of those movies
Seen any
you.
of the sequels.
I haven't either. Fuck, I watched the first one. Didn't care to see the sequels.
Yeah. Good
It inspired
lord.
me to invest in chloroform.
Can you even buy that shit legally? How does Cosby get a hold of it? Is that what he
I
used?
don't know, but is there anything good that you can buy legally? I mean, if you could, like Bill Cosby would probably not, be where he is now because he
Yeah.
just chloroformed everybody. Well, I don't think that does
What's the
amnesia
difference?
like roofies. Well, roofies creates like a cloud of amnesia, I think, like where you don't.
Yeah,
remember.
you just completely black out, I would guess.
And then
I mean-
with chloroform, what it is like you just like put over their mouth on a rag or something. They
Yeah.
breathe it in, they pass out.
yeah,
Wake
it's
up
some
with like a
sort of
really bad
inhalant
headache.
or something.
But do they remember?
At least that's what she said. No, I'm just
Oh.
joking.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
My head hurts and my butt hurts. I'm like, I don't know.
Fill down some steps.
You drink a lot.
It's weird. It's definitely weird.
No.
By the way, the fart theory is real.
Did I tell you? I texted you whenever that dude's like, "Oh, my wife's gonna be here in 30 minutes." This, right? I didn't tell you about that.
I
I
don't
know I
think so.
told you about that. I'm pretty sure.
You might have. I've got an awful memory.
All right, so hold on a second.
It's one of those stories.
All right, so I got a call for somebody's missing channels,
AIDS.
and
Channel AIDS.
and so I go there and blah blah blah. So I'm at the door, knocking on the door, nobody's answering. I'm like, what the fuck? So I'm about to call dispatch, but like, this guy's not answering the door. I don't think anybody's home.
Just run away.
And then basically, yeah, that's what you do. It's
Yeah.
like you just go and you knock real quiet.
soft. Real soft. Yeah, wasn't home. Wasn't home.
Now we had a guy that used to do that all the time. He would just like go like this.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, and then he would just dip out. Anyway, so
What was it me? Because I did that.
no,
There was someone else?
Yeah,
It was
I
a
can't
genius
remember.
plan.
I can't remember his name, but his nickname was Skippy.
Skip.
I remember. Yeah,
Was that back in the
Sean.
Adelphia days?
Sean,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Wasn't while I was around.
But, yeah.
Wasn't
Anyway,
while I was around, so it's deep
so,
ago.
yeah,
There's someone
so,
named Sean there.
Anyway, so I'm knocking at the door and I'm getting ready to go and tell dispatch, yeah, this dude's not here. And then I hear, oh, hey, cable guy, I'm here, blah, blah, blah. It's at my neighbor's, blah, blah, blah. So the dude's like running at me and he's like, got a beer. And I was like, oh, so this should be pretty casual because he's already drinking. So we go inside. I'm checking signal. He's telling me what's going on. And he mentioned something about my hair. I'm sure you've noticed that my hair is like long. I don't
Yeah.
know what I'm doing with it. I
Yeah, it
just
used to not be
don't
that
care
way.
enough to cut it.
Well, you've cut it on the side, so that's a lie.
Yeah, so I'm like, maybe I'll
God
get
damn, I'm so tired.
I'll get,
Just
I'll
stop
get
after the
50%
sides.
off, at the barber. It really doesn't work out that way. So, so we're talking, and he's talking about how he went to Clutch. Like, I'm sure you guys know.
Yeah, clutch.
So, like, well, that's a different Sean, not the Sean that worked at the cable company, but like, he used to work at the barber where I go. But anyway, he's like, yeah, this guy told him, just a little bit off the top, and he cuts all of it off and fucking shaves the line. I'm like, yeah, hard parts, they're kind of gay, but that's kind of what a lot of people are getting. All right, you don't have one, so I'm not saying it. So anyway, so he's like talking about my hair, and he's bitching about his hair, and I'm like, that's cool. And so I'm like, I'm gonna go check this out outside because the signal's shit in there. So I go outside. And I'm checking stuff, and he's talking, just, random talk, but he's talking about, like, oh, so I got these 3 friends, and it's weird. I tried to get in touch with them, and they're talking about they're gay now or something. And I'm like, I don't know, man. It happens. Some people are gay.
It just works out like that sometimes.
Yeah.
Some people like the dick. Some people have dick and like dick. But anyway. So he's like, yeah, I mean, I couldn't be full on gay, but I could understand getting a blowjob from a guy. I'm like, blowjobs are awesome, we all like them. You can look away, it doesn't matter. And he's like, yeah, and then he said something about a hand job, or no, yeah, something about a hand job, and then we were talking about the rub and tug that used to be in the mall.
Oh yeah, OPD
right.
busted that shit, right?
I know, that's crazy.
Did you ever experience that?
No, I heard there was a keyword that you have to say at a certain time, and that tells them. I don't know.
I thought you had to. I heard that it was you go in there and you pay up front.
And leave a big tip?
No, you pay up front because normally if you were to get a massage, you'd pay at the end. Mm-hmm. So if you paid up front, that was the code.
That's why they acted weird when I went in there with a gift certificate.
Maybe. They went, oh, sucky.
She did take me upstairs and told me to take off all my shit except for my underwear.
There were stairs in there?
Yeah, you could go upstairs. Yeah, there's this weird, creepy loft.
Oh.
Yeah, I would enjoy. I'm a creepy guy. I'd be like, man, I wish I had that loft in my house.
Yeah.
But,
for the same exact purpose, coincidentally.
Or it could be like, back in the day, it was like 1700s and shit. There was like female hysteria or whatever they thought was because women couldn't have orgasms, so the doctor would just finger bang them.
Oh, really?
Until they had an orgasm.
Shit.
That's a good job.
It does seem to cure the issues.
You'd probably get some carpal tunnel, but
After a few years.
but it'd be worth it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I don't know, though. I think you'd get tired of it. I think it just, after a while, it's like, oh, God.
Yeah. I guess that'd be kind of like a gynecologist job where...
Yeah. I mean, you've seen one puss. You've seen them all, kind of. They're all just... I don't want to say it that way.
And they're different. But I would think... people that are deterred by gynecology would be like, just think of the biggest, nastiest, sweatiest, hairiest, you're in there,
sour
and you pull it out,
filled.
and it looks like you just put a wet hand into like a bucket of oats.
Oh, okay.
Some shit like that might make you not want to be a gynecologist. I don't know. But anyway.
I think it's one of those things where it would ruin puss for you because it's like you whatever you work, you don't want to do that when you come. It's like you love working on cars, but you become a mechanic and you will never take care of your own car.
Oh, yeah.
Never again. So you love puss, so you become a gynecologist, but then you'll never want to deal with puss.
You go home and you're going down on your room and you're just like...
Do you know the science behind this, hon? Okay. I've studied this for 8 years.
It's not really a bean. It's actually a Mexican jumping bean. There's a worm in it. No, anyway. So, Jesus. All right, so back to this. I digress. Back to the story of this dude. So we're outside. We're talking for a while. Just fucking... abnormally weird conversation, like abnormally sexual. I didn't pick up on that because I don't judge things. Like, I'm not a very judgmental person, so it's like I'm just like, cool. He wants to talk about fucking getting a handy from the Asians in the fucking mall.
Whatever.
That's cool.
Yeah,
it's whatever. If I knew the keyword, I probably would have done it back then too.
I just don't feel like they could do it better than you could do it.
I don't know. They probably jacked off a lot of dicks.
Yeah, but I mean,
oh well, yeah, not better than you can. Well, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know of anybody who knows my dick better than me.
Fair enough. What about your priest?
I'm not. Unfortunately, I'm not Catholic.
Your butthole thinks shit.
Yeah.
Jesus.
I typically assume that they're probably not very generous with the reach around area. They're probably very selfish.
Yeah. They keep it all to themselves.
I mean, if they're gonna eventually get caught, might as well just treat yourself.
Get moved. Like,
just shuffle them around.
man, that shit that's a crazy movie. It's apparently true. Like that's crazy shit. Like
I haven't seen it.
Like they actually, what they do is they move the priests when they get, called out for fucking kids and shit. They just move to a different parish.
Oh,
And They go
okay.
and fuck kids there. And then
So if your priest was recently moved,
yeah, so it's like playing
That's
musical
kind of a-
buttholes
a
for
kind
them.
of a-
It's just like,
they get a whole fresh market then.
yeah,
Yeah.
And they're just out there parting hair like that's a good boy.
That's a good
That's a
point.
good week. Anyway, so back to fisting Jesus. No, okay. So this guy, like, he's drinking. Like, I can tell he's already been drinking a while. I've got to replace the line to his house after all this sexual banter back and forth. Like, mainly, on his side, he's just whatever. So I'm like, yeah, I gotta replace this line. I'll be right back. And he's like, well, hey, how long is this gonna take? I'm like, I don't know, probably 45 minutes. He's like, well, my wife's gonna be home in 30 minutes. Why don't you come inside and let me jack you off, and then you can finish.
He just straight up said that?
Yeah.
Like just outright?
Yeah. So I'm like,
I mean, a hand's a hand, right?
to me, exactly. But that's not what my non-judgmental
Well,
said.
Fuck it.
Literally,
All right, let's do it. Yeah.
without skipping a beat, I was like, no thanks. I appreciate the offer, but I'm just gonna get this done.
Yeah.
And then it clicked in my head what he said, and I was like, that's a fucking first.
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely.
that's never happened, and it's never happened from a hot chick. But I mean, I'm
That would
a fat
never
ass,
happen from a
so-
hot chick, yeah.
No, they're like, they've got enough dicks. They're like blocking. They're like, God
Yeah.
damn, get out of here.
Yeah.
Let's fix the cable because I know you got a dick in there, and I just don't want any of it. Just go away with your dick.
Yeah.
It
I
would
don't,
suck to be a woman.
Especially a super attractive woman.
I strongly
no.
disagree. I
Really?
strongly disagree. Absolutely.
It depends on how you embrace your womanhood.
If I was a chick, I would be just as much of a slut as I am now.
Well, yeah, exactly. But then it would be considered negative. But if you charge,
I don't give a fuck. It's
But if you
considered
charge,
negative
you'd be
now.
good.
I'm married.
Well, I don't think anybody cares about marriage anymore.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. But like, so the thing is, if you have a puss, all you have to do to get laid is literally just be
Ask.
there.
Yeah,
Just be there. You don't have to
Everybody wants
ask.
a pussy,
Yeah.
and then a line will form.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to say anything if you just drop your pants.
Yeah.
It-
Just
I
bend
think
over
you
the
might need
bar.
a sign
Yeah.
because people might think you're senile or something. Because I'm not gonna fuck like a retarded person or like someone with Alzheimer's.
If anybody's
Unless
around.
they explicitly, unless they explicitly say, I don't know where I am, but I could really use some dick. I'm like, well,
Fuck.
I don't know.
If you need it.
Can you sign here?
are you microchipped?
Are you microchip? Does she have a collar on?
Yeah, exactly. Well, there's nothing blinking on her ankle, so
Take her away from me.
I think there's a bathroom nearby,
Jesus.
but I don't know.
Yeah, but if you're a guy, you have to work for it. You have to work really hard.
And like,
There is no there. Well, we're getting better about that. There was no casual sex. Like we're slowly getting more and more sexually open as time goes on.
now
I think.
that everybody has herpes.
Yeah. Well, I don't think that was even a thing back then. I don't think people give a fuck. I think it's more just social media probably. I mean, you have Tinder now for people who specifically just want to fuck.
Yeah.
The only thing I have
Grindr in
against
the case
Tinder.
of your hair.
Yeah, I've never noticed. I've never been on there, so I don't know. But I don't understand how women, especially attractive ones, would be on hookup apps. If they wanted to hook up, they would just go hook up.
Yeah,
They don't need an app.
They would just go outside,
Right?
Because
Yeah.
there are usually people on the lawn.
Pull your tits out.
yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just
Yeah.
It's a perfect
Right here.
representation.
But I don't know that women understand that they have that power. But then
Some of
maybe
them
that's
Oh, a
why-
lot of them do, especially hot ones.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think maybe that's part of like the, what's it called? The patriarch.
Patriarchy.
hierarchy.
Yeah.
The
No, like dealing with like dudes run the world or whatever. And I think women, if they just embrace the sharing of their vagina, then they would realize that they kind of
control a lot more shit than they
because
think.
there's only one thing dudes want.
Yeah.
But do you know what you call the worthless skin around the vagina?
A woman.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just joking.
Yeah. No, a lot of women do put their pussies on a pedestal, though. It's like
Some of them should.
it. I mean, yeah, but I don't know, because the world would be a lot better of a place if they didn't. But that's not saying a woman shouldn't have self-worth, so don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying...
our world would be a better place if they didn't, because then we'd get that puss.
Exactly.
But
Everybody
somebody's getting
would be
puss,
happier.
So it's not like the world's going to be better. It's just that I think we'll be doing better.
Who's will though? If the world isn't, but will. Who's
like we
men?
We will be
Like just me and you only?
Like, yeah, like us three. Like if
What we
there's
do
like some
better?
smoking hot chick, the three of us aren't gonna walk up and be like, yeah, I got a 33% chance. I got 30. We each have a 30. No, we don't. We've got like fucking no chance with hot chicks.
But wouldn't it be cool if we did?
Exactly.
So like
But
if a
there are
hot chick
dudes
was
out
just
there
like
that
whatever.
just be like, oh hey, what's up? And lay it out, and they're like,
But I've heard that hot chicks are the most disappointing in bed, just because they're hot, so they don't have to do anything. They've done their work just with their look. By being born, that's all they have to do.
I don't know. It depends on the length of their hair.
Really? What's the science behind that?
I don't know, because you just grab a handful of it and pull and fuck them real hard. So they're not going to lay there.
That's not their skill.
They're either going to get like really into it or really against it, and then you just kind of go from there.
Whether or not
Play
you
it
pull
by
the
ear.
chloroform or
Yeah. Well, no. Whether or not you grab the throat afterward. You know? If they start fighting against it, then you're like, oh no, you don't know how good it is. And
Yeah.
then, you know,
yeah, it's risky anymore to have sex though, especially with strangers.
because of
For
the
real.
herpes, or
No,
Well, all of
just because of the rape allegations.
oh
Yeah.
Hell, like there's a situation going on in town that this woman actually raped a guy, and he was a virgin and everything, straight up. He was a virgin. He
two
was
things that aren't possible.
he was drunk, and she went into a room because she was plastered. This was at a party. She was plastered. She went into a room. She thought it was a different guy or something. Fucked him, and then she screamed rape the next day because this guy was like really unpopular. He's like the nerd at school or whatever.
Well, yeah, that's why
So then
they're
everybody
delayed.
found out that she fucked him, so she was getting picked on. So then she screamed rape and like ruined this guy's life. But it's a lie. Everybody's found out it's a lie. All her friends are like
Yeah, because
testifying
everybody
against
knows
her.
that dude's not getting laid.
Yeah, exactly. There's no chance. So, but now like there should at least be repercussions. Is there repercussions? I feel like there's probably not.
I mean, there's like
There's
libel and
perjury.
slander shit,
I mean, I feel like
and perjury as well.
lying under oath.
If you go to
I've-
court for it, yeah.
Well, I've heard it's considered rape. So, like, if you like misrepresent yourself or something, say like you're some rich guy, blah blah blah. Like these things have apparently happened. So, you're some rich and powerful guy, and you like tell a chick that she fucks you, and then she finds out you're a fucking douchebag, and you're the nerd at school, and you're the head of the AV club. No offense to anybody head of the AV club, but you know, mad respect. To
Well,
the
that's
tape and the
just
boss.
bullshit though.
But yeah, exactly.
that's just
but
gold
then she
digging.
can say that you raped her because you were misrepresenting yourself or something. Like that can literally be considered rape.
That's fucking
But it's
bullshit.
like if you're such a bitch that you're only going to fuck somebody because you think they're
have
in
money.
this position, you're kind of a cunt for that.
Yeah. You're
So-
you're 50-50 partners in douchebaggery.
Yeah,
that are both consenting.
Yeah,
So
but I don't know that a judge can be like, no, I file this bitch under cunt and she has to serve 10 days of blowjobs.
10 days of blowjobs.
She will suck the cuntiness out of herself. Something, I don't know. But yeah, she needs to get her pussy off the pedestal.
Yeah, knock it down a couple notches. I feel that.
You another one of these?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
Do you another one of these?
No, I'm fine. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Sharing is caring.
Yeah, I do appreciate
Unless it's herpes. Don't share herpes.
it. Whatever you do, do not share herpes. If you have herpes, please. Safe sex is the
Well,
only
I think
answer.
they're like dating sites for people with herpes,
Oh,
which is
shit.
awesome.
Yeah.
Because, you know,
They gotta
not-
have sex too.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody needs sex, but you're not going to give the herp derp to somebody that's got the herp derp. I guess you can give it to a different part of their body. Because can you have like
You can have. I don't
genital
know if it's
herpes? Like,
spreadable.
okay. So I know there's like cold sores, and that's like herpes simplex 1 or 2. I don't know
Something like that.
the difference. But if you have a cold sore and you blow somebody, or you go down on a chick,
Herpes of the mouth.
yeah,
Cold
becomes herpes of the herpes of these lips becomes herpes of those lips. So
Is that
does
how it
that?
works?
I don't know. Maybe
These are the questions that need to be answered.
I know.
I need to know.
Just like
So if you suck a herpy dick, will it go to your puss?
and see, like there's this one chick I saw one time that had just like
I
all these
mean-
red bumps all over like this shit. And I was like, if a dude nuts on your chest and your tits and shit, do you get the bumps on there? But that's not how cold sores work. So I don't know. It's not like
I don't
transferred
know.
sperm is transferred in the bumps. But if
Yeah.
you have an outbreak, if you don't have an outbreak, can you get? I mean, I don't know.
There's a lot of science behind it, man. We are not qualified. We are not qualified at
I'm
all.
not qualified for science.
It's just
Yeah.
what condoms are for.
Well, that doesn't prevent herpes, though,
I
right?
know, because what if you just rip that thing off and just jizz in her fucking eyes?
Well, I mean, herpes
And
isn't.
she's like blinking
herpes
to
isn't.
scratch her fucking herpes eyeballs.
isn't restricted to just your dick, though, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly,
it's
that's
on your
what I'm
pelvis area. So bumping pelvises, a condom doesn't cover your whole pelvis area.
True.
I think potentially it can be anywhere that there's contact with the juice of herpes simplex 1 or 2.
Or skin.
So
what about skin contact?
What if you put like this chick in a headlock, or like you're trying to get some deodorant on her puss, and she's got a herpes outbreak, and you get it in your armpit. Now you got armpit herpes. Is
I
that
feel like-
fucking herpes simplex 3?
It's a
don't
new
know.
strain.
Is that like, will speed stick prevent that?
I feel like it's like
Man, I'm wearing my condoms and my speed stick. I'm safe.
that would be a hell of a marketing ploy if there could be
Oh, yeah.
herpes-proof deodorant.
Oh yeah, speed stick be
Absolutely.
like, you need to do this.
Just coat yourself.
Just get this. Yeah. It's like right guard. It's like cunt guard.
Cunt guard.
Put this shit on your snatch. You're not getting hurt.
Oh Jesus.
Maybe not. The Jesus guard.
Jesus
They
guard.
can name it anything. Marketers these days, man, they're fucking geniuses.
Yeah, man. They know how to
They get
advertise.
people to buy the dumbest shit. I saw a commercial for this fucking sock putter on her thing. Have you seen this?
What?
No.
No.
No, it's some fucking mechanism where you put a sock on it and you put it on the floor and you put your foot in it and put your fucking sock on.
Oh, for like old people or something?
I don't know. I
just
don't know
fat
the
people?
demographic. What's the target demographic for people who
People
can't
like
put on a
me.
fucking sock?
People like me, man. I don't know. I've got to get it on the first try or I suffocate. It's rough in the morning.
That. Like, if it tied my boots, then I'd be like, maybe. But
It
I
might
can
be
put
worth
on
the
a fucking
investment.
Sock. You can
Yeah.
bring your fucking shit up and just put on a sock.
That's true.
Like.
Well, the same argument might be said, like clipping toenails. There's a toenail clipper.
Yeah, but you have to be down there for a while, and there might be a chance of death. That's what I do. Or I've been trying to bring it up, but I don't think I get it straight.
No, yeah, it's not a straight
Balls.
angle. There's got to be a more efficient way to clip fingernails and toenails
Yeah.
too. That's
It's called
Seems-
marriage. And I don't subscribe to it,
know.
but
know,
I would assume that you have the straightest toenails ever.
no, I clip my own, so no.
Well, what's your wife do?
Does she like does her own toenails?
Yeah,
I would
understandably.
feel like I would
but
feel like
what
a
about
child,
your
though.
toenails?
I would feel like I would feel like a kid. I would feel like a kid. That's what if I
I feel
like,
bad
babe,
when
can
my
you
woman does my toenails?
you
Like
clip my
she's done it a
toenails?
couple times, but like I feel
Isn't your woman like? Isn't that what she does for like a living almost?
it used to be, yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it's kind of natural.
yeah, but I don't want her to work at home.
Well,
She's not a telemarketer or like.
I mean,
tech
sometimes
support.
you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, but she doesn't have to do that because my fat ass can still do it. I'll wait until I
Okay,
get
now
so
you're
fat that I
contradicting
can
yourself,
do it. Well, no, like I'm just pacing myself because eventually I'll probably be fat enough that like at this current trajectory, I'll be fat enough that I can't cut my toenails, and I don't want her to be like, I've been cutting your toenails for 10 years. I want her to be like, I've been cutting your toenails for 2 years because for the first 8 years I was cutting my own fucking toenails because I still could.
Right.
Yeah.
That's some solid logic, though.
Gotta take it slow.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean-
you got to pick your battles.
Can't get her.
My
burnt out that
toenails
quick.
aren't going to whip me. They're
Yeah.
going to blind her in 8 years. But I'm still not with.
Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know, man. There's a lot of room for improvement on things like that. Just like hygiene in general, though. I feel like there should be more efficient methods to all of it.
I don't know. It's gotten a lot better. I mean, think about just 80
Soap?
years ago.
Yeah.
Like before soap. Oh, I don't even want to know.
I don't know. I feel like we're regressing because like antibacterial soap is actually a bad thing.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah, it
right.
cleans
So-
the good bacteria out,
Yeah,
right?
so it's like, oh yeah, exactly, and we have like tons of good bacteria. But what's crazy about the human body is that like there's like a specific bacteria that lives here, and then there's a specific bacteria that lives here, completely independent of each other. But that's part of the ecology that is your body.
Did you see that thing about face mites? You have mites like on your face, like living mites.
I know about the eyelash mites. They're
No,
the ones
yeah,
that
they're-
sit there and eat your eyeballs.
They're actual
and shit.
face mites.
Oh.
What the
I don't
Yeah.
know about face mites. I know about
Yeah,
the
you should
bitches
check
that
it
live
out.
up in here.
Check it out.
I wonder if you can cover one. I wonder if like whenever you wipe away your own eye boogers, if you might accidentally put your finger in the butthole of like an eyelash mite.
Well, if they're
might.
that small, you might like
You
put
might-
it in
you
all
might
of them. Yeah, you just might
And then can
spear
they
all
bring
of
you
them.
up on charges?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
You'd
where
be-
it's all going.
You get a
Is we're
micro
gonna get-
summon.
Yeah,
the
exactly.
back.
It's like I can't read this. Yeah,
I can't read it. I have to go.
exactly.
God.
Subpoena these nuts. But then your crabs.
What if that's what happens?
Your crabs might.
Hey, what if that's what happens? What if the first time you ever wiped your eye booger, you got a summons to come to court.
And
then like the judges came to your eye to come get you, or the police officers
in your eye,
and you just keep killing them
that one
night
time
after
she
night.
got really blurry. That's because they're like, he's not paying attention.
In your sleep.
No, while you're awake,
Oh.
you're just all sitting like, God, why is everything fuzzy? And then you killed him, and then that was like murder of a judge.
Or those floaty things. If you just kind of zone out and you see the floaty things,
yeah, maybe those are the summons from all the dead knights that brought
floating
the
through
summons.
time. Yeah.
It's like, oh, what is that? That's
We
so
can't
weird.
get it any fucking closer.
Now it's gone.
You can't wipe those away though. You can't.
You can like redirect them by stabbing your eyeball with your fingers.
Yeah. Are they always there? Are the same? Or what are those? Are those
I don't
dust?
see one right now.
Are those dust
I don't
floaties?
think I do.
I don't
Maybe
see-
they're-
I've got contacts in though, so I think
I think
contacts.
they're like imperfections in your eyes, maybe, where light shines through at a different rate. I don't.
Why do we
fucking
ask these questions that we're nowhere near qualified to answer?
know. I have no idea, man.
So about internet.
About the internet.
we can answer those questions with Drahos here. Or what'd you call him?
Zora.
Zora. That sounds like an online role playing character.
Zora?
Like-
Isn't that like that one chick, Lucy Lovelace? No, that's Xena.
I thought you were talking about
Sorry.
Zelda.
Zora.
No, that's
Mask.
a dude too.
Mask
Or
of
no,
Zora.
that's a
Zora's
chick.
mask.
Yeah, that's a
Majora's
chick.
Yeah,
Mask.
never mind.
Link
That's
is the
princess.
dude.
Link is it. I know, and everybody always forgets that.
Yeah.
but-
I just know it from like Facebook memes that like mainly nerds share.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's where I learned
What
it.
was it? Nerd? Like, see, so I make these stupid pictures and shit and come up with these stupid ideas, but I don't know where to put them. I put them on Imager, and then people are like, oh. Or I'll put them on Imager, but then I'll share it on Reddit, and they're like, oh, no, that's too offensive. You can't do that here. And
On
I get
Reddit?
blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Really?
But I don't know where to go.
I don't
you
know.
I mean, when you
Facebook.
think things
Well-
about fisting fucking Jesus.
Facebook.
I don't know because
You
I
won't
don't
get
want
censored?
Facebook. I
You
don't
won't
want
get
to be
censored
like,
on
oh,
there?
Yeah, have my phone be in my shit.
What's it matter? Fuck it.
Really?
What's it matter?
You,
What are you doing
You want to
that-
be the one that's like, I don't have anything to hide. It's not about having anything to hide. It's about the fact that they can and
They-
will, and you agree to
They
let
know
them
who you
get
are.
into
They
it.
know what you do anyway.
Perhaps. I'll make
Case
them
Haas.
fucking work for it, though. I'm not just going to hand it to them.
But I mean, they already know though.
Then I feel like I'm working at the fucking mall.
Because I mean, they can get a
give them a handy.
they can get a warrant for all your phone records anyway. So
Yeah, but you have to commit a crime in order to get a warrant.
yeah.
Where like,
but if they're looking
CIA
at, they're not just gonna look at Jeremy Drahos for no
So,
fucking
like-
reason. They don't have enough people for that. They don't care.
just for
enough
like
for that.
a mental tidbit, just to kind of plant a seed. Look up CIA Vault 7. And there you go.
Oh yeah, WikiLeaks is all dropping all that
No,
knowledge.
so you're familiar with.
Yeah, I'm familiar with WikiLeaks.
Are you
and
familiar
some-
with like all the tools and shit? That,
yeah,
like,
all the CIA
had?
tools that
Oh,
they
yeah.
dropped in this past year because everybody was all fired up about that Vault 7 and
And there's still like there's more and more.
yeah, it's like
stories. Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of documents and programs and files that they've been dropping. And like,
you elaborate?
I kept up with some of it. Yeah, so WikiLeaks, 6 to 8 months ago, I think it was, maybe a little less than
Right
that.
there, could be
They started sending out pictures on their Twitter about some cryptic tweets about Vault 7 and the truth about Vault 7. And everybody's like, what is this Vault 7? What is this Vault 7? And so a couple months later, on the date that Julian Assange and WikiLeaks all promised, they dropped Vault 7. And it has all this data that the WikiLeaks had gotten from whatever leaker from the CIA about all the internet tools and hacking software that the CIA uses that they've sold to different people that they're still using today, some whereabouts of CIA officers and how they conduct themselves in the field with that software, and some of the things they can do, like hack into like autonomous cars and stuff like that. It was some really creepy shit for a while, and it's kind of got kicked under the rug because they're, Trump, just talking about Trump nonstop and the Russia shit and the leaks of Rilla from Russia and North Korea. And so a lot of it got kicked under the rug, but they're still dropping knowledge. Like every few months, they're dropping more and more about Vault 7. And all of it just kind of scares you because it's like all the things that you thought were conspiracies gives almost more fuel to the fire for it. And it's really creepy because some of the shit that they've shown that the CIA can and has done, it absolutely terrifies you. They're talking about being able to hack into certain servers. You know more about this than I do. Being able to hack into certain servers and plant data there, or make something look like it wasn't their IP or it was from a different area. Assign the intrusion to someone else or some other IP somewhere else. And it's really freaky because it just sets up people to be framed. They could just drop kiddie porn on some dude's computer and then blame it on he downloaded it at this date or whatever.
That must have been what happened to the subway guy. Absolutely.
Maybe. You never know. Maybe he crossed the CIA and they were just like, we got to take out Jared.
Yep.
We got to take him
It
out.
could have been, or somebody ordered a foot long. He's like, all I can give you is a 6-inch.
Yeah, that's weird,
But-
man. I mean, they're always going to do it, though. That's kind of thing. Like,
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of
there's some things that I would say that the public doesn't need to know, especially when it comes to like government things. I don't know.
Can you see the disappointment on my face? Is it coming through?
Yeah. No,
There's
I
nothing
mean,
that the public shouldn't know.
there's a lot of things, especially when it comes to foreign
Like
affairs and wars
what?
and shit.
Well,
There's
like
like-
national
okay, like the
security.
fact that-
national
issue.
security issues. Exactly. There's a
like
lot
in
of domestic
Vietnam,
terrorists that
where-
they probably have used that software on. Like Jacob in Owensboro, Kentucky, with a Facebook and all his information public, basically.
This comes back
I don't
to
think
the,
they give
I
a
don't
fuck.
have anything to hide. You can't say that.
I'm not saying I don't have anything to hide. I'm just saying my information's out
Besides
there.
your browsing
Well,
history.
a-
but you know, I mean, that can be like brought forth by a simple like JavaScript exploit, like that. That's not an issue. But things like I can't remember the name of it, but there was one for like Samsung TVs where they can tap into the camera.
See me fucking
Sorry, not AIDS. Like it's a
eating
habit.
something on my couch or
Yeah, the microphone.
Yeah, while
the
you're sitting there,
camera.
kind of, getting a slow jerk because wife's
Yeah.
gone. You know,
It's
where,
just
where
a
you can
nice,
turn the porn up
steady-
real loud,
Yeah.
and you don't have to worry about because she's on.
you got a loud
she's not
sound
coming
bar in
home
there.
for lunch, so
Yeah.
Right.
and that's why you're jacking off. But anyway, but no, I mean, there's like so much shit where let's just say you expect only Windows users to be exploited. So, but like with Vault 7, there's a lot of shit that's for Linux and OS 10, like Mac OS and shit like that. It's not just Windows. Like Windows users, yeah, if you use Windows, you kind of deserve it. I mean, I'm not saying that you
Well, good luck
deserve it.
getting Linux to work. I mean, fuck. I'm the everyday person is just not
Yeah, no,
able
I
to
understand,
operate a
but
lot
they
of that
have
shit.
Audacity for Linux. But anyway, and for Mac OS. But anyway, so I don't know. Like you can't have the idea. Like I'm surprised you don't have a fucking
What do you-
"Don't tread on me" bumper sticker.
But what are you gonna do to stop them? That's my thing. Like you
know
just-
that it's
you have-
happening.
You have to accept
and
it.
then when
though.
why
You
do you
can't-
have to accept it?
You can't live in. What are you gonna do? March into CIA and fucking tell them to stop?
When enough people know that it's happening, then you'll have enough voice to at least stop what is known.
You'll have enough
There's
voice
going to
for
be
them to do it more secretly.
Yeah, but they're already doing it secretly. You
Right.
already didn't know that the CIA was or the NSA was spying on you until Edward
The
Snowden
Patriot
was
Act.
like,
I mean, that
they're
was
spying
enough.
me.
That was the
Yeah,
start, really.
That's why I
Yeah.
quit hacking because, like, with the Patriot Act, it was basically if you were found guilty for any kind of cybercrime, any fucking kind of cybercrime, you could go to prison for life with no chance of parole.
Wasn't it even like terms of service violations and shit like that?
Well, I mean, it could have been, but I mean, I was doing shit way more than just terms of service.
Allegedly.
Fucking drone drops a bomb right on the house right now.
You get your GPS turned off, motherfucker.
All right, they are talking way too much about our programs. Way too
But-
much.
No, I don't know, but yeah. So that's why I quit because, like, to me, it was just fun. Like, you get into a fucking server that you're not supposed to have access to, or like, oh, you have a password, challenge accepted. You get into it. Oh, fucking, you need your SSL stripped, challenge accepted. You think you're accessing a secure website. I don't give a fuck what you're looking at, but I can look at it now.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I have a different approach to it than some, but I mean the CIA does 10 times more than the average hacker does.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
they're like
the Central Intelligence Agency.
yeah.
I mean,
And
that's
the
their
NSA.
entire job is to collect intelligence.
Well, like it turns out that CIA was looking at other like FBI and other places basically that were doing the same thing.
Yeah, the other
but
intelligence
they had
agencies
these,
that
like,
were up
fake
to it.
updates. And that they like convince people it's basically spear phishing, but they convinced people to install, and they were like watching their computers. They had like complete access to everything just to make sure that they weren't talking shit about the CIA. I mean, it's fucked up. Like what happens, but anyway. But you can't have the "I don't have anything to hide" thing because it's basically, oh, they're fucking watching me take a shit. I don't want them to watch me take a shit. Do you want me to
Well,
sta- like
it's
if
not
you go
that.
take a shit? Do you want me to stand there and be like,
It's not that.
It's better if you wipe.
It's not
from
that.
this angle.
It's just that it's gonna happen regardless. It's gonna happen. Like that's literally
But
their
should
job.
it happen?
But then you can shoot down each avenue that they have to make it happen.
How?
And then
How are you gonna do it?
by knowing that it exists.
What's your
and
game
saying,
plan?
"Quit this
What's your
shit."
game plan?
And then
all right,
like,
everyone in this room knows it exists now, right?
right.
So what are we gonna do to stop it?
Patches. Okay, so security patches. So let's say I'm assuming you guys don't really follow security and shit. So there's this thing called WannaCry. So WannaCry is this huge fucking ransomware infestation that's affected many hospitals and home users, like lots of shit. So what happens with ransomware? What ransomware does is it encrypts your hard drive. It uses EFS, and these were actually on Windows XP. So, but it encrypts your hard drive, and it's like you can't access any of these files until you give us $300 worth of Bitcoin. And then and it gives you the Bitcoin address. You go to like Coinbase or something, and you buy some Bitcoin, and then you send it to them and hope that they give you the key to fucking unlock your shit, which isn't going to happen. But so you get a security patch that after this happens, which Microsoft actually released a security patch because XP was the fucking worst because so many people still use XP. And so they released a security patch that blocks what WannaCry exploited. But then it also went to like Windows 8 or Windows 7, Windows 8, 8.1, Windows 10 wasn't vulnerable. But so you can lose all your shit because let's say the CIA needs more funding, but they're not getting it from the government. They can just do some ransomware shit and be like, oh, well, I'm going to take all your shit and you can't have access to your family photos. Can't have access to anything on your computer unless you give us money. But you don't know that it's the CIA. It's some covert group.
Was there anything in Vault 7 that alluded to the fact that the CIA was doing that about the ransomware stuff,
ransomware?
Or is that just?
I don't think they were doing
they really don't have to.
More surveillance.
Yeah,
it's
that's
not ransomware.
I didn't
it's not
think so.
like, getting financing.
I just haven't been able to get through even a quarter of that stuff, man. I mean, it's like you can read some titles and headlines and go through some articles where they pulled some emails, but it's like, dude, it's an info dump that's going to take years. I mean, they still haven't got through like the Panama Papers and stuff like that. I mean, that's terabytes of emails between business figures and shit like that. So
and Trump thought he was going to get Hillary.
Yeah.
Her email. I don't want to fucking talk about this.
Yeah, right. Can't blame you.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, but you can't approach it with the idea of I don't have anything to hide. You have to approach it with the idea of, but like that's something we can do is patches. Like security patches, they fix the exploits, they fix the bugs. Like there was an SSH bug that got fixed, but they were able to like snoop in on SSH connections and which is secure shell. It's anyway, but you can't. My point is, you can't just look at it like I don't have anything to hide. You have to look at it like let's fucking stop this.
That was my thing. That's not how I'm looking at it at all. I'm just saying they're like I can't name one person at the CIA. Not a single. They are just the CIA, right?
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, how are we going to stop it? And okay, the individual person might be able to come out with a security patch or something, but I feel like if it's at that level, it's probably like Windows and iOS and all those companies are letting it happen. Yeah. They're probably they probably don't give a fuck. I mean, especially Google. Google's like the largest data collection fucking agency out there.
So they're making their money already though, so they don't have to worry about getting the favor of the CIA. But no, you're right. But like iOS and Microsoft and shit, Microsoft intentionally puts backdoors. I can't really speak to that, but iOS, like before I went to DEF CON, it pissed me off because my iPhone was jailbroken. But then there were like 22 exploits that came out for that version and previous versions of iOS. And I'm like, well, I'm going to a fucking hacker convention. I can't just go there on an old version of iOS because I'm vulnerable. So I had to update, and it pissed me off because it takes a long time for a jailbreak to come out for a current version of iOS. But anyway, there were like, let's say Pegasus. Pegasus was a toolkit that was distributed by what's called a cyber arms dealer. So a cyber arms dealer is a person or an organization that finds all these vulnerabilities in these popular operating systems and shit, and they sell them to governments. They sell them to people.
Highest bidder.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, they sell to anybody that wants it. But like governments and shit, if they want to spy on their enemies, they want to know about this fucking exploit in, like, for instance, WebKit, which is something that's used on iOS that nobody else knows about, which an exploit that nobody else knows about is also called a 0 day, because like 0 days have gone by that the vendor has known about the vulnerability. So there was this thing called Pegasus that took advantage of 3 different iOS up to, I think it was like iOS 9.3.3. And what happened was you could remotely jailbreak somebody's shit. You could have complete access to photos, text messages, everything. You could remotely like listen to phone calls. You had complete control over their device. And they had no fucking clue. So like shit like that benefits, government agencies and stuff like that want to, or like even industry people, like maybe Johnson & Johnson has a douche and fucking Massengill's like, man, their fucking douche is fucking great. Makes that pussy smell so good. And they're like, we want those fucking ingredients, but we can only get that if we get in on, their fucking CEO's iPhone. Mm-hmm. But then like, we got that douche. And then whenever they they're like, skadoosh. Maybe not. I don't know.
Yeah, there's plenty of room for exploitation in all industries. That's what's scary about it, because you don't know. Yeah. You can't really.
You don't know. Like, you got an Android phone.
I know.
Second I walked in the door, I already hacked you. I've been downloading your text messages and emails for the past 2 hours.
This son of a bitch.
I'm not even fucking joking.
You have a lot of gay porn on there.
It's all right.
A lot.
I mean,
maybe that's why I keep getting these weird notifications. Yeah. It's like, I don't want that dick. Why am I getting fucking dick pics? But I don't know.
No, I get it. It's pretty quiet. Go ahead. Yeah, you're fine. It's pretty crazy, man. Like, and like he was saying, it's like not many people know about like Vault 7
I didn't know
and
about
a lot of this shit that WikiLeaks and Julian Assange have been working on, and like Edward Snowden and stuff like that. Like, it's like people are terrified. And some people don't even know. A lot of people, I'd say the majority of people don't even know, because when it was reported in the media, all kinds of different stuff was going on. It was the Trump election, Hillary Clinton, and all that stuff was still going on. It was still fresh in everybody's minds. And the Russia connections, everybody was still kind of worried about. I mean, they still kind of are to this day, but neither here nor there. But when WikiLeaks dropped the Vault 7 stuff, it was kind of, they noted it. Mainstream media brought it up a little bit, but it was just a one-time thing. WikiLeaks alleges, WikiLeaks does this, but I figured I would hear more about it. And from certain groups of my friends that I know are very up to date on certain stuff like this, they were all about it. They knew that something big was coming, and WikiLeaks and all those guys have been promising, something big's coming for a long time. And I mean, I think they've definitely delivered on their promise. I think it'll be interesting to see in a year or so what else WikiLeaks digs up, or Julian Assange comes out with, or hell, even Snowden. You never really know, because I mean, one of them could get extradited, or brought back into the United States, and it could completely change the game. I don't know. There's so many different variables going on, especially with this whole, age of technology and information. It's easier than ever to connect with people, maliciously or in a legitimate way. So it's like, for me, you do what you can, but fuck, man, I get what you're coming from when you don't have shit to hide, but it's like, scary, man.
I want to say once again, that's not my point.
Yeah, I know it's not your point. But you did reference it, and a lot of people have that point of view, though.
Yeah, it's a lot of people mentality.
Yeah, a lot of people are just like, well, I have nothing to hide. I don't care, and it's normally people who don't put themselves on the internet too much. People that are maybe a bit older, that grew up without the internet for a while. But for the most part, our generation and a little bit before are pretty much knee deep. If not neck deep in the internet. Mm-hmm. So everything, from some people that are growing up and every bit of their life is online, all their pictures, all their baby pictures that their parents posted, everywhere they've lived, every relationship they've ever been in, anything they've ever downloaded or looked up or searched, it's cataloged somewhere on the internet, man. And it's scary to think that the governing body that you have to trust for the government body that you have to trust to keep all this stuff secure is, time and time again, have done some pretty shady shit in the past. So, I mean, it scares me, just as much as the next guy who knows, just a little bit about what's really been going on.
So let me kind of expand your palette.
Sure, go ahead, please.
It's not just like internet-based shit. Let me give you an example of, say, do we have a time limit?
No, man.
Oh,
go
keep
on.
going,
Okay.
dude.
So, all right, let me give you an example of a fucking Kroger card. Okay. This isn't shit that's on the internet. I mean, it can be internet. It's probably not internet accessible, but like it can be brought to the internet. But anyway, so let's say your Kroger card. Every time you use your Kroger card, you're incentivized. So basically, they're like, "Oh, we're going to charge you this much for food. You don't want this much. You can have a little less, but you got to have this card. You want this card? Oh, I do want less. So I'm going to get this little fucking awesome card." Mm-hmm. So anyway, so you get lower prices. So what they do is, they created a database for a user or whatever, a client, whatever they want to call it, a douchebag that buys from Kroger, which I buy from Kroger. So I'm a fucking Kroger buying douchebag. Anyway, so you use your Kroger card, and everything that you buy on your Kroger card is stored forever, indefinitely, and it's used for marketing. So they'll send you coupons. You'd be like, "Oh man, I just ran out of fucking douche." Or I just ran out of my dog's douche, fucking apple cider vinegar in the shower. It's so weird. Bucky's gonna be excited. So, and I just got this coupon. So anyway, so basically they watch your shopping habits. They have these professionals that watch your shopping habits and create algorithms based on what you buy and how frequently you buy it. And like they can know, like there's this book I read, I think it was about habits. So this, like I think it was Target. Yeah. So Target hired this really fucking smart marketing guy, this really smart fucking IT guy basically. And he figured out like how to find certain habits in people, but also like they wanted him to find out how to find out when women are pregnant. So whenever people, like, he found out, like, they buy more of this, more of that, more of this, blah, blah, blah. And then just to make a long story short, this is truncating a whole lot. So to make a long story short, they send an ad to this one chick's address. And it includes, like, baby shit. And then the dad sees it. She's, like, 16. The dad sees it. And he goes to fucking Target. And he's like, "I don't know why you're sending this shit to my house. Like, you're trying to get my fucking daughter pregnant or inspire her to have a baby or whatever the fuck." And the manager's like, "I don't fucking know what you're talking about. Yada, yada, blah, blah, blah." And then he's like, "Oh, blah, 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 blah." So anyway.
Interesting conversation.
Exactly. And that was verbatim. So the interaction's over. And then the manager at the Target or whatnot, he calls later just to apologize again. But the dad's like, "I kind of overstepped my boundaries. I didn't know what was going on in my own house." And she is pregnant. Sure. So basically, Target knew this chick was fucking pregnant before her dad did.
Wow.
Because of her fucking buying habits. But this is with any kind of, what's it called? Not courtesy card, fucking...
Shopper's card?
Yeah, like a shopper's card.
Rewards card.
Yeah, rewards shit. Because they're incentivizing you to use this so that they can track you, so that they can market to you and advertise to you. But also, let's say Blue Cross Blue Shield wants to know your fucking... like Target shopping history. So whenever you're going to the doctor with a fucking heart attack and they look and see that you bought fucking ice cream for fucking 10 years and that's all you bought because you're a fucking fat ass and like you didn't buy any vegetables, you just bought ice cream. It's like, and then they're like, "Oh, responding to your claim, how do you not know you're going to have a heart attack? You haven't bought vegetables in 5 years. So you had a heart attack." And then they can be like, "We're not going to support your claim. You're going to fucking pay for it yourself." So this information can be shared with other entities. And then not only just used as marketing, but used as... Sorry, I didn't know if I bothered you. But used as like... basically used against you. But it's not just shit that's on the internet. It's everywhere. Like people
And
don't
all that's
realize.
legal? All that's
Oh
legal?
yeah.
Like, totally.
Oh, it's used every day. You got a fucking Kroger card?
Yeah, I got a
yeah, you
Kroger
do.
card.
You got a fucking Kroger card? Yeah, you do. You got a fucking Kroger card? This Mike has a fucking Kroger card. It bought some fucking wire. But guess what? It's never bought a vegetable. So when this motherfucker has a heart attack, never bought vegetables in 5 fucking years. I don't even think it's 5 years old. It's fucking
It's brand new.
Anyway,
Yeah.
is it?
Pretty much.
It smells used. The return on Amazon.
That's because you've been burping all over it.
No, it was used for Brazilian fucking fart porn. But anyway, but no, like this shit's not just what's on the internet. This shit is every fucking where. It's all over the place. People don't understand the scope of there is no fucking privacy. None. Like when I buy my fucking Busch Light with my fucking credit card. But no, like with Kroger, even if you don't use your credit card, like let's say you don't use your Kroger card and you use a debit card, credit card, whatever, for payment one time with your Kroger card, every time you use that Kroger card, it is linked to that credit card. So even if you pay cash from that point on, like let's say you guys are like, you know what, fuck Kroger, just like fucking they can get some masking deal that just fought for this awesome douche. So, you know, anyway, but when you're like, I'm fucking doing cash only from now on, it doesn't fucking matter because that Kroger card is attached to that debit card. So if you don't even use your Kroger card, but you use that debit card, it's still under you. It's still the same fucking consumer.
Wow.
Yeah. So what you have to do is you have to have a Kroger card for when you use your card and a Kroger card for when you use cash, because cash can't be tracked.
So really staying under the radar is incredibly difficult. For like
and
disappearing.
people have no fucking idea. Oh yeah, like nobody fucking disappears.
Yeah.
Julian Assange maybe, but motherfucker shops at fucking Meijer.
Who is that guy? Who is Julian Assange?
Julian Assange is the WikiLeaks guy that like found all
he was the founder of
documents of WikiLeaks. Like he's the one. Yeah, he's the WikiLeaks guy. But he found all these fucking documents and released them. He's kind of like an Edward Snowden. But like I remember when fucking I'm sure Edward Snowden still fucking demonized. He's like, oh, he's a traitor, blah blah fucking blah. But no, like fucking Edward Snowden should be like fucking not president, but because he'd probably be like, everybody needs to wear these stupid ass glasses that he wears. But no, fucking Edward Snowden's a fucking hero. But he's treated as a fucking like traitor and like all this shit. But it's just because he was like let's say like that window right there. Like let's say this is your jack off room. This is your masturbatorium. You come in here and you're like, oh man, I'm so glad to have relief from this day. And there's a fucking creepy ass guy that just just stands on the other side of that window and he's just like, this is my good day too. I also like this room is my favorite. So Edward Snowden is your neighbor that's like, man, there's this fucking dude that jacks off outside your room. I don't know why he's jacking off outside your room. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what he's looking at because I'm a cool guy. I don't fucking look through your window. But this fucking douchebag, he's just out there just fucking doing the 5-knuckle shuffle like there's no tomorrow and just nuts all over your window and you think it's bird shit. That's not. Bird shit usually has yellow. That's just straight white.
So in this reference, the government would be the creepy guy outside your window.
Exactly.
And Edward Snowden would be your neighbor and you're in here.
And he's like, yeah, there's this fucking guy. And you're like, but then you get mad at your neighbor for telling you about the guy jacking off outside your room.
Gotcha.
That's the fucking analogy.
Like, why were you looking in my room?
Yeah, why are you looking anywhere near my house? Blah, blah, blah. I don't have anything to hide, though. Blah, blah, blah.
I thought the whole reason behind him being a traitor and all that shit, and keep in mind I'm completely ill-informed on this, but I thought the whole reason for that was just because he shared national security secrets with the world.
I mean, that basically
and now
is
he's
the
taking
reason why.
refuge in Russia, right? Which is not a good place.
No, that's Julian Assange. No, Snowden's in
Ecuador,
too.
Ecuadorian embassy.
Are they both?
UK.
Oh, he's in Ecuador now?
No, he's in the Ecuador.
He's in the United Kingdom in the Ecuadorian embassy.
Yes. Yeah. So
he's
he's like
technically in Ecuador.
Yeah, but if he steps foot outside, you're going in a bag.
Yeah, exactly.
You're going in a bag in a van across the water.
Yeah.
Which I understand. But no, like basically that was the pretense for them to be like, oh, this guy's bad. So that in your mind, you think he's bad and you don't listen to anything that he says. You can just completely disregard it.
Yeah. Well, there's that. I mean, I get why there was such a big fuss about him being a traitor, air quotes, just because of the places that he went to flee the U.S. government. You know, he went to China, and then he went to Russia. So they were just like, whoa, this
guy's Russian.
Yeah. And that could have just been a cover up. I really don't know.
They want to throw any kind of negativity
Exactly.
at him to deter
How's he been-
anything that he says.
How's he been flying to these different countries?
I don't know. I don't fly
went-
internationally,
He
so
went to Russia, then China.
no, he went to China, I believe,
China and
first.
to China, then Russia, then the UK.
Or no.
All while he's been a
Snowden's
fugitive?
not in the UK. Snowden's not in the UK, I don't believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought that's who we were
no,
talking about.
Ju-
There's
Julian
Julian
Assange.
Assange, and then there's Edward Snowden.
Okay.
Yeah. Julian Assange is the founder of WikiLeaks, and Edward Snowden is the former NSA agent. Sorry, he was a contractor for the NSA that found out they were doing some fucked up shit, gathered up some of that data, and then published it online for a bunch of people to see. And then he was like, "I got to get the hell out of Dodge," and that's what he did. And he's like the few places that won't, like send me straight to a cage. Yeah, it's gonna show up. The only place that won't put me straight in a cage is the people that don't 100% agree with the U.S. and it was China and Russia. And the Russians think like, "Oh no, we got Edward Snowden," and that made the U.S. really, wary because they're like, "Well, if Russia has him and the Kremlin shows up at his hotel door and just fucking snatches him up," and now that, yeah, I get a good shot of that on the camera. And if the Kremlin shows up and here's Putin at your front door and he's just like, "You're going to come with us," and that nice little thumb drive you've got is going right into this computer here. And I see why they were worried about that. But I mean, it was kind of gross on behalf of mainstream media for them to, because they did kind of throw up the debate: is he a national hero or is he a traitor? And I mean, he's somewhere in the middle. He did break some some red lines, but at the same time, it's like
that shouldn't matter.
Yeah, but the American people kind of deserve to know, and that's what a lot of people like Glenn Greenwald and people from The Intercept. They're like, people want to know this because it's not okay. The U.S. government is violating the same Constitution that it pledges to abide by.
And what sucks is that a lot of people don't want to know it. And it's like
They
I've
act
talked
like
to a
it's
lot
not
of people,
true.
They're like, I don't want to know this shit. It's like I don't like, I'm not going to talk about other conspiracy quote theories that have been proven that are just conspiracies. But like, there are a lot of other things like I don't want to know that happened. Like let's say the Gulf of Tonkin, which was like the catalyst of us getting in the Vietnam War, which the attack on that submarine never even fucking happened. That was like a false flag, as it's called. Mm-hmm. But that got the American people behind it because they thought that it actually did happen. But nobody wanted to get in the fucking Vietnam War. And that's why that had to happen. Yeah. But I forgot where I was going with that.
What kind of information can they like Google, for example? What kind of information can Google collect, and do you have to use Google for them to collect the information?
Do you use Chrome?
Google
So like,
Chrome.
let's say you use startpage.com, which uses Google securely. So it uses Google by proxy. So you search something on startpage.com, it searches Google and then it brings it back to you, but it doesn't attach your IP address to it, your search shit to it, blah, blah, blah. That's secure. Google doesn't know. But if you're using Google Chrome to do it, Chrome is made by Google. I believe Google was started as an NSA key search program like years
Was it really?
ago.
Is that a fact?
I don't know. Like allegedly. You can look it up real quick. I don't know. But yeah.
So what kind of information can they pull off your computer? Just everything?
Go to google.com/history. Well, let me give you an example. Okay.
Abort mission, Chase. Abort mission.
ADD out.
We are on Facebook Live right now.
So, all right. So let's say Flash. All right. Flash is a media providing platform. It's interactive, video, fucking blah, blah, blah. It's been replaced, thankfully, by HTML5. Anyway, so because it's very, very vulnerable, a lot of security flaws. Anyway, so it has microphone access and camera access, webcam access. Flash does. So Macromedia, it's not Macromedia anymore. God, it's been like fucking 10 years ago. Adobe Flash player. So, like, Google has admitted, yes, they listen to you through Flash on your microphone. But then they were like, oh, but there's not a person there. We listen for dogs barking and shit so that we can send you advertisements for dog food.
What?
So,
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is a true story.
But how's there enough employees to monitor everyone's computer? Or
No,
is it just-
it's a computer that monitors the computer, but they're saying that the employees don't have access to that, so they can
that's gotta be bullshit. Somebody's got to have access to it.
Not necessarily. Okay, so let's say, for instance, intelligent home, there are glass break monitors. They listen for a specific frequency, a specific volume to
set it off.
assume that your glass just broke. So Google can use the same kind of algorithm to realize that at a specific frequency, a specific volume, this was a dog barking
Or a cat meowing.
So exactly. So they can be like, there's not a person listening, but we have a computer that can identify the fact that a dog did in fact bark on your premises, or a cat did meow, or a cat just pissed all over your fucking poker table, and we're gonna send you like ads for wet naps and paper towels.
How do they send those ads? Are those just the ads that pop up on random
when
websites?
you go to Google.com, when you search something on Google, those are the ads or the AdSense. So you go to websites that support AdSense, and that's what you see.
I've noticed a lot that when I'll
You'll talk about some
for
shit.
podcast equipment or something, I'll try to find it and see how much it is and shit like that. And then any website I go to that has ads, it's like, check out this microphone, check out this mic stand, check out this.
Yeah.
I'm like, the fuck does that even know I was searching for
The majority
that?
of their revenue is advertising, because everybody uses Google. Everybody's shit is open to Google.
So what all was in Vault 7 as far my mind's still blown by that.
There are like 50 different things. Like there's
More than
no way we
50.
just talk about it.
Hundreds.
Oh yeah,
Hundreds
there's
of-
shit tons.
And it was all just CIA
iOS
files?
vulnerabilities, Android vulnerabilities, fucking your Samsung TV with a camera vulnerabilities. What was that called? Something I can't remember.
I can't remember what it's called either. But there was like things about cars being able to shut off ABS brakes in
Oh, yeah.
cars,
Like, in
black
DEF CON, they
boxes
talked
being
about
wiped
that.
from planes and shit like that. Like it was some stuff that you were like, I don't know if even the CIA should have access to this
Cars
sort
are
of stuff.
easily hacked. Like you can just fucking remote in, disable somebody's fucking brakes. Like, yeah, if your car is connected to the internet, you need to fucking remove that goddamn chip. Yeah, because you're fucked.
Wow.
Like,
So that's all been proven that the CIA's done that or used that
Yeah, they
use
have
that
tools.
information somehow.
well, I'm not speaking to the car part. I'm just saying that the car part is known, and I'm sure the CIA knows, but I don't know if any of the tools have been released that the CIA uses. Vault 7 is a collection of tools that the CIA actively uses in order to infiltrate consumers. So get into your webcam, get into your fucking
Phone, computer,
get
anything.
into fucking whatever, your Android device, your fucking
Anything's
iOS
connected to the
device.
internet.
Exactly.
Period. It's
Yeah.
anything.
And like they can take
So your
advantage of
watch.
shit like services that you would think were otherwise secure, like SSH, which secure shell. SSH is like an allegedly secure connection to a server. So anything that you do there should just be only between you and the server, but they can get the SSH token. They can get fucking the private key, which is the key on which like the information is encrypted, and it's interesting.
So no matter what, if you're on the internet, somebody can know everything about you, steal all your information, steal all your
Even if-
personal information.
Even if you're not okay, so let's say you're sitting on the toilet watching fucking xvideos.com and you're just fucking jacking it. You're like, yeah, this is great. Fucking somebody is looking at you while you're fucking doing your O face. Just
Even on your
look
phone?
at it like that. Oh
On
yeah,
your phone?
Yeah, it's fucking Android device, iOS device. Yeah. Oh, just
How's that possible? How do you do
Vault
How can you
7,
do that?
Fucking, there are tools, there are vulnerabilities in
How
these
can you do,
devices.
I just don't understand how you can do that.
They're
Well,
vulnerabilities.
you're blowing my fucking mind right now,
So
man.
there's this thing called the Broadphone vulnerability, which is a vulnerability in the Broadcom 4300 series of Wi-Fi adapters. That's on fucking Android. That's on fucking iOS. Like this is a hardware vulnerability, a hardware driver vulnerability, which hasn't really been exploited in the past. So it's patched now. So like when you complain and bitch and moan about how your phone has to do an update, And you're like, man, I was about to come and it fucking had to do an update. No, you want that fucking update.
So Apple is actually actively looking for the breaches and shit. That's
No, the Broadphone one was actually brought by Adrian something.
Peterson?
I can't
The football player.
it might have been, but I can't remember the researcher's name. But no, like an independent security researcher found this vulnerability and that found the fact that it had been exploited. And fucking Android had it, Samsung had it patched before fucking iOS had it patched. So, and people that haven't updated, people that are like, man, I'm fucking rocking my 10.2.1 fucking jailbreak. Sucks to be you because you're vulnerable to that fucking Broadphone. Anybody within Wi-Fi range of you can access everything.
So what is it? Just a fucking app on your computer?
No, it's the actual hardware driver.
Right. But if you're the hacker, you're the aggressor.
As far as I know, like there has to be a what's called a proof of concept exploit, and as far as I know, there's not one open to the public, but the information based on the exploit that tells you basically how to exploit it is out there. So anybody that's not what we call script kiddie, anybody that's not someone that's just like, oh, I'm just gonna fucking download this now, I just own everybody. Like they can develop their own exploit and access all that information.
Okay, I just still don't understand. That's
all right.
fine,
So
though.
when you jack off with your phone in front of you,
well,
people can watch you.
I'm saying
Just
like, all right, I've got my computer in front of me. How do I access your phone to see you jerking off on the computer?
That's going to take a lot.
That's what I'm saying.
No, exploit the vulnerability. So
right, but I can't just Google exploit the vulnerability. Like,
no, you have to fucking actually be a hacker. You have to actually know
what is a hacker?
Like basically, you have to know what the vulnerability is, and then you can write the software based on the code that exploits the vulnerability. So if there's a fucking buffer overflow at register 31, then you can put your payload in register 31 to override what's actually there, and then you can open up a shell remotely. Like it's not something that you're going to do. Like it's not something that's easy. It's not something that's easy for like the average person. It's something that's known to the security industry, including the CIA, and they have the fucking programmers and shit that know like what to do. Or if I want to do a buffer override on a register 31 and put in my payload, open up a root shell, and access your fucking camera on your phone, then I can do that.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, Vault 7 just showed that the CIA confirmed did have basically apps. You know, it's basically a refined process into getting into any kind of device. I mean, that
Windows, Linux, iOS, fucking Android.
that's what made it scary, because it's like, what if those leak? What, you know, if we're able to find out that they exist, and what if somebody gets their hands on that is not the U.S. government? You know, that's what makes it scary. Not just the fact that the U.S. government has it, because at least they have like a governing body and they're, they're responsible for their actions. But if somebody who wanted to do some serious damage with them got a hold of them, it's like, oh my goodness, like this person could do something I couldn't even imagine what.
And some of those did leak.
So yeah.
And some of those were sold to people like fucking Pegasus. That was a collection of 3 iOS exploits up to 10.3.3. And you could just remotely jailbreak, or you could just have a remote root access. You would have fucking everything. You would completely own the device. You could hotwire it, or you could hot tap it, which is basically listening into phone calls. Fucking, if it's like your phone just sitting here, I could hot tap it and just sit there and listen to this conversation. You don't have to make a phone call. It just has to fucking sit there. That's why a lot of governments don't allow iOS devices, because there's no way to remove the battery. So like with most Android devices, you can just pop off the case, pop the back, boom, battery's gone. Done. It's no longer a threat.
Device, yeah.
But with iOS, you have to fucking take out half of the fucking phone and have all these screwdrivers, and then take out the battery. And then when you put it back together, since you didn't wear gloves, you got your oil on it and you fucked it up. You bricked it.
So you have to be,
and you didn't buy Apple Care. So you know what? Now you're just fucking buying that dude. Master Gill owns the best shit in the world. No.
So you have to be close to access the information.
No. You have to be close with the broad phone vulnerability. So you have to be within Wi-Fi range. His phone has an IP address. Your phone has an IP address. All that needs to be known is that your device the vulnerability was exploited, and you can be fucking anywhere in the world and fucking hot mic it. You can you can send text messages, receive text messages, intercept text, like you can do fucking whatever. But like,
So someone
I don't
besides
even want to get into fucking
the internet
like,
and Facebook Live could be
software-defined
listening
radio.
right now through his phone, and we'd never know.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have fun shit like software-defined radio. Nuan. Anyway, so software-defined radio, with the way that works is Nuan has a really fucking badass one to where it has full duplex, so you can send and receive data at the same time. So I can buy a fucking, I think it's about $250, $300 software-defined radio, set it up as essentially a cellular hotspot that makes your phones think that I am the cell tower. So it's going to be a man-in-the-middle attack on a cellular basis, which a man-in-the-middle attack can be done
relays
on TCP/IP.
all of our information through you.
Exactly. And then it relays it off to fucking Verizon or whomever. But yeah, so I can intercept your text messages, your fucking whatever. But like what's really fucked up is that they don't care. They don't fix it. They're like, that vulnerability is just there.
Isn't that traceable though? Like, can't.
Nope. They have no fucking clue.
So
No
someone,
fucking clue.
so
You
someone
have
could
no
do that
clue?
anywhere. Someone could
Yep.
do that in this neighborhood from their house right now.
I've been doing that for the past 2 hours. Every
Really?
text message you got? No, I'm just
But
no.
I mean, I would be
No,
really
no.
excited to see how that worked, though. I was
But no, basically,
rate.
like the way
checking my
man-
heart rate.
basically the way man-in-the-middle attack works is like, do we even want to be on this topic? I don't know if you guys.
I want to
Dude,
be on
I
this.
can-
I'm
I'm-
fucking super intrigued.
nothing
talk
but
about
knowledge
what the
being
fuck
dropped
it is.
right now. So
All right, so let me give you an example of I just hacked your wireless. I didn't, but I'm sure if I brought my laptop,
I would just give you the password. It's not that,
Okay,
it's not that serious here.
Let's say you gave me your password. We're gonna handshake, find that was your fucking phone number, cracked it in like 2 minutes. So, or even worse, you had the fucking default password, which I wrote a script that cracks all of them like immediately. It's fucking awesome.
That is super
Anyway.
cool.
So I connect to your network. I do what's called ARP poisoning, which is a man-in-the-middle attack. So I tell every client, every station that's connected to your network, I say, I'm the new gateway. This is my MAC address. Blah, blah, blah. So the way TCP/IP works is all the stations, all the devices on the network connect to the gateway. They send their information. That's where it goes off. So I say I'm the gateway. So every connection you make goes through my device, and then I relay it off to your router. Your devices have no idea that I can see every fucking bit of traffic. Like everything you do, I can see it. Every connection you make, every DNS lookup you make, I can fucking see it. And then I can use something like SSL strip. So every time you connect to HTTPS and you think that it's a secure connection, I can strip away that secure connection. I can see everything you've done. I can just sit here and see all of your passwords, like everything that you authenticate against, like your cookies. I can steal your cookies, steal your whole fucking cookie session, and then I can get on Facebook and do whatever the fuck I want.
How does that come through on your end? Is it just a script that comes through on your computer?
It depends
How does
on
it
what
how does it
tool
look?
you use. Like I would use something like EtherCap, or you could use TCP dump and then take it home. And like if you use TCP dump, it's not as interactive. But like something like EtherCap, I can look at every connection. I can inject data into that connection, or I can like do DNS spoofing. I can there's this awesome fun thing called a Wi-Fi pineapple, which I've got one. It's pretty sweet. So I can just sit on my fucking porch, and then it will pretend to be the access points that people's devices are looking for, and then I can do a DNS spoof that makes it think that I'm fucking Facebook.com, and then it'll connect to me, and I can present it a fake authentication page, and then whenever they're like, oh, I don't know why I have to log in again, they log in.
And you
Boom.
get that information.
It gives me the password, but then my server will just automatically send them off to Facebook, and it'll say, no, that's the wrong password, and then they authenticate genuinely, and they think that it literally just happened.
Wow.
Genuinely.
That's happened to me several times. Not that I've been hacked, but That's happened to me a lot.
probably been
Probably.
hacked.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like everybody's had data collected off of them at least. a
Yeah,
couple
I was
times.
actually hacked by the Russians once. It was pretty interesting. They stole all my video games, and I had to go through the process of getting my account back.
Are you serious?
And yeah, they changed like my
Did
because
they
it
say
was on.
all your base belonged to us?
Yeah, basically, it was
Some
two.
people will catch that.
It was two Russian dudes, and they named myself to like Sad Boys, and like they started playing Counter Strike Go and all that shit, and like
Counter-Strike Go?
or what?
a thing.
Yeah, Global Offensive, yeah, the newer one or whatever it is, and they played that for like 8 hours while they had my account. They're like, we need some games, so they just stole it from some motherfucker.
And exactly. And what's fucked up is if you do that in America, fucking you go to jail for fucking ever, and you can't fucking ever get out.
wow.
I want to fucking play Counter-Strike on your fucking account. Just to fuck around because I don't give a fuck. I don't
Yeah.
care. You know, I'm just going to fucking sit there and play fucking Counter-Strike. I'm having a good time. I don't need the fucking FBI bumming in on me being like, oh, well, you took our buddy CIA's exploit and
So
you're fucking playing Counter-Strike.
I'm still stuck on this past thing. You guys are on to video games, but so okay. So say you're doing your Wi-Fi pineapple thing, and I get on my phone and I'm connected and I'm trying to go to my banking app and it says you need to sign in again. So I sign in again. You get that information. You have access to my entire bank account.
And then relay you off. Yeah.
What the fuck?
He makes it seem so
Dog,
fucking
I'm
easy.
about to just not do anything with the internet now.
Cash out. Take
All right, I'm
all
done.
cash.
All right,
But-
I walked
but
into
it-
this conversation not giving a fuck, and now I do.
going to a cashless society.
I feel like
They're
you're the
forcing
2-hour
you
YouTube
online.
video that can convince anyone of anything, though.
Fair enough. I got to take it.
Whew. What a hole we have jumped into. It's been I am delightfully learning more than I expected to learn tonight. That's why I don't even know where we can go from here. We're about an hour and 40 in, and I mean,
There
we're
was another 30-minute live stream on Facebook. I thought that was like 10 minutes.
yeah, I know.
Dude, that blows my mind because there's been so many times where different things have asked me to authenticate, and now I'm just questioning everything because you can't just not authenticate and lose your account forever. So what? You don't have any options.
I know. So it's like we're backed into a corner, so we still have to use it.
Yeah, so you still just have to give in and give your passwords out to whoever is smart enough, like Jeremy, to have a Wi-Fi pineapple or whatever he called it.
I know. It's kind of scary, man.
It's super
I'm
scary.
getting really paranoid over here thinking about it. I did not expect to jump so deeply into this, but it's serious though. It's something that affects everybody, and like it's just crazy that hardly anybody's really talking about it anymore.
I mean, everybody's on the internet. Yeah,
And,
keep him out. No, keep him out there. He'll step on the cords and shit in here. And
Yeah, everybody's on the internet, so it's like it makes it more relevant for everybody to at least know. And it's like people, like Jeremy was saying earlier, like they don't want to know. Like when all this stuff started coming out, they're just like all those conspiracies and stuff like that. All these conspiracies that people believed were true or thought they were true turned out to be true. You know, like all about the CIA and everybody spying on you and whatnot, and everybody's just like, well, that's just what people say when they smoke too much weed and get on the internet.
Alex Jones.
Yeah, watch too much InfoWars.
The gay frogs. Companies dumping chemicals, making the goddamn gay frogs.
But it's crazy.
I don't know. That's not really too far-fetched.
I mean,
Okay, let's hear it. All right, now you got.
well, I mean,
Why isn't that too far fetched? Come on, gay frogs,
There's not enough beer here. For
gay
not enough
frogs.
to dump into the.
I need to hear. I haven't even listened to
Okay.
that episode
All right.
podcast about.
I don't know anything about gay frogs, but I do
Well,
know
you're
about
an InfoWars
hormone-
supporter though, right?
hormone alternating things such as like estrogen mimickers that are in like soy. Like 80 years ago, 90 years ago, a farmer wouldn't feed soy to his cattle because it was too toxic, but soy's in fucking everything. And soy has an estrogen mimicking compound that hyperfeminizes, which I believe is a coined term. It might have been by Alex Jones, I don't know. But hyperfeminizes men and or no, it feminizes men, hyperfeminizes women, and then the female the mammary glands are basically the estrogen. I think it's the largest estrogen consuming gland. I don't know. But anyway, it's in the tits. I'm assuming you guys know what mammaries are. Mammary glands. So the mammary glands are in the mammaries, which are in the breast, and that's what causes breast cancer. So estrogen can, or I'm sorry, soy can be pushing breast cancer, but they're all, oh, it's a race for the cure, blah, blah, fucking blah. People are looking in the wrong fucking direction. They need to find the cause, because there are a shit ton of causes of cancer. There are a shit ton of preventions of cancer, which are illegal and, or like understated. So let's say vitamin D, for instance. Vitamin D prevents like 16 different types of cancer, but the FDA says you only need 400 IU or 400 international units of vitamin D. Well, they also say, oh, you need fucking sunblock, because when you go outside, you're going to get cancer. The way that vitamin D is created in the body is a chemical reaction between UV rays and your skin, and that creates actual vitamin D in your body. If you wear sunblock, you don't create vitamin D. Also, sunblock causes cancer. There are two different kinds of fucking sunblock that don't cause cancer. These are zinc oxide and titanium dioxide. Now, you can get titanium dioxide, but if you get the nanoparticle size titanium dioxide, that causes cancer. So you can use either zinc oxide or titanium dioxide, non-nanoparticle type, and you'll just be covered in white. But that's also going to prevent you from producing vitamin D.
Yeah. Okay. So I got to ask you something. So there are, like you said, there are like a bunch of different causes for cancers and diseases.
A,
What's that?
Like, okay, so as far as the classification of estrogen mimickers, there's bisphenol A, which is a chemical for hardening plastics, which is also prevalent in inkjet printer ink and thermal receipt paper, and that's about it. But there are other bisphenols aside from bisphenol A. So whenever things are like, oh, BPA free, blah, 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 doesn't fucking matter. Because bisphenol D could have even more estrogen mimicking compounds than bisphenol A, which is known. It's like the sun's bright. It's fucking known. It's the sun's bright of causing breast cancer or estrogen mimicking. Anyway, so
I don't know. I was going to ask you about the excessive number of females in society that take birth control, and something about it being estrogen water solvent going into the
water supply,
the water supply, and causing
because the
issues
pharmaceuticals are water solvent, which means that whenever they consume them, they piss them out.
Right.
But also the BPA is water solvent. The inkjet printer ink, water solvent. The soy is water solvent. So let's say you give your male baby a bottle of soy baby formula because for some reason you're retarded and you don't want to breastfeed. So you give them the formula that's based on soy. That's almost as much female hormone as a birth control pill. Each bottle.
And just one bottle.
One bottle.
So you get three of them a day.
Yeah.
So that's 3.
So that is a way to chemically make frogs gay, or whatever the fuck it was that got us on this topic.
Well, you
that
fucking
wouldn't make them gay. They just make them feminine.
Yeah.
Gay.
Does that lead to homosexuality?
I don't know. Females love the cock. Gay frogs love the cock. I don't know. But that's not just frogs. That's life in general. That's estrogen. That's the primary female hormone.
Yeah.
You can take that information and use it however you want. I'm not going to say anything about it because I don't want to hear any content.
Well, wouldn't it just be the frogs though, right? It'd be the crickets. It'd be the fish. It'd be the
humans.
All wildlife that has interaction with water. So everything. So with that logic, everything would be gay though.
Well, no, not necessarily. That's a slippery slope.
I don't know.
I mean, if the frogs are gay, everything's got to be gay.
Well, no.
We drink water every day. We drink bottled water every day.
We do. And
according to some rap artists, we smoke weed every day. But I digress. But I don't know, like homosexuality is also part of just nature, not human nature. I'm sure your fucking boy dog has fucked your other boy dog.
Yeah.
I'm not.
They've
saying
also
that,
fought.
I'm not saying that homosexuality is exclusively chemically created. It happens in nature. Fucking people are gay. But I'm not saying that it's exclusively in nature. Like, if you just give, like, a male a shit ton of fucking estrogen, he's going to grow tits. He's going to love the cock. I don't know.
Will he love cock, though? That's what I'm saying. Because
Let's do a test.
Chase.
What are you doing
Chase,
on Friday?
what are you doing?
How much estrogen can you get? How much fucking printer ink?
I'm gonna be
can
out
you
of
get
town
your
for like a
hands on?
month.
I mean, I understand it would make them more feminine. I understand it would grow tits. I understand that, but I don't know if estrogen makes you love cock or that's just
Well, no, I mean,
That's a female hormone that directs you
might
in a
crave
different
orgasm. But
well, I mean, you would have
that's what
feminine traits,
testosterone does,
which
too.
may lead you to live a life that would expose you to prefer one side of the aisle rather to the other. So, I mean, not necessarily if you have an excess of estrogen, you're gonna like dick. No, that's kind of a silly thought. You know, we're just kind of throwing that around as a joke, but
depending on the excess.
yeah,
But
seriously.
it can also be if you're a female and you have an excess of estrogen, you can get breast cancer
Yeah.
because you have more estrogen than is naturally created by the mammary glands or contributed to the mammary glands. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know the science between the accumulation of estrogen throughout the body because estrogen is created also by the metabolization of fat in the liver that then turns into cholesterol that accumulates around the ovaries, and that's how estrogen is created. Just as the accumulation, okay, so the metabolization of fat in the liver creates the estrogen metabolized or that accumulates around the testicles in the male that creates testosterone. That's why when you get all these low fat, no fat diets, everybody needs fucking Viagra because you can't have testosterone without fat.
yeah,
And like
fat's been
dietary
essential since the beginning of time.
right, and
Yeah.
dietary cholesterol is bullshit. It's a whole fucking don't even get me started on fucking cholesterol. If you take statin drugs, stop because you're one fucking up your liver and you're also fucking up your hormones. But that statement is not endorsed by Take Cover the podcast. Anyway, it's fucking endorsed
What
by
was
me.
that?
I was reading the thing that says.
Oh, I
Take
was
Cover the
seeing
podcast.
something move outside, but none of my dogs are
It's
outside.
that dude we were talking
It's the
about.
dude out there, yeah.
It's
We're
the
gonna get a
dude
call
that
from
observes the
Snowden.
masturbatorium.
Yeah.
But anyway, but no, like you don't get a hard on without testosterone. Without testosterone, you don't get testosterone without the accumulation of cholesterol around the testicles. You don't get the accumulation of cholesterol around the testicles without your liver metabolizing fat. Like whenever you see a food that is high in cholesterol, that doesn't increase your cholesterol. That's what's called dietary cholesterol. That does not increase per se your cholesterol.
There's many
The
more factors.
cholesterol
Right?
thing is bullshit. Like if you have low cholesterol, you are 4 times more likely of dying of cancer. Like you have to have cholesterol. You cannot take statin drugs. Like okay, so there's this thing called coenzyme Q10 or CoQ10. This is the number one coenzyme that prevents you basically from fucking having heart attacks. Whenever you take a statin drug is an anti-cholesterol drug. So that's like simvastatin, Crestor, whatever the fuck.
Crestal or Crestal or something like that.
So whenever you take this shit, there's a chain that has like coenzyme Q10, cholesterol, like all this different shit that your body needs. Whenever you take a statin drug, it chops it off up here. So you're not getting coenzyme Q10. So whenever you read an advertisement like you're not going to have a heart attack if you take coenzyme Q10. Oh, you're like, oh, I love coenzyme. I'm going to take so much of it because I'm not going to fucking die of a heart attack. Yay. That's wrong because if you're taking a statin drug, your body can't hold the coenzyme Q10. It's chopped off at the cholesterol, which is above the chain, as to where the coenzyme Q10 is. So that's
not following the natural
So you're probably
progression.
going to have a heart attack.
Oh, lovely.
Because what keeps you from having a heart attack is below cholesterol, and your statin drug chops it off up here. So it's taking away what's good and what people say is bad, but cholesterol is actually not bad.
I have heard some very compelling arguments that would agree with you these days. I mean, it's recently coming out for the
In
longest
the
time.
pharmaceutical industry,
I guess that what it makes
praises the
sense.
contrary.
It makes sense too, because when you hear about high fat diets, a lot of people report being hornier and like their libido goes up.
Yeah,
So especially in men, so
because that's where you get your testosterone.
from. Yeah,
But
that makes sense.
otherwise, you get your you get your horniness from fucking Pfizer through your Viagra. But
Yeah.
they don't want you to know that.
They don't want you to know that.
Who's they? Big Pharma.
Anybody.
Big Pharma,
Google.
or I wouldn't even say doctors because doctors don't
CIA.
really realize.
Anybody who has, like, a
doctors
vested interest in
yeah, but see, doctors
certain
are also
things, too.
trained by Big Pharma. So like the pharmaceutical industry is like the biggest provider to the like medical schools and shit.
So doctors are taught what Big Pharma wants them to be taught.
Well, see, American medicine is what's called reductionary allopathic medicine. Reductionary allopathic medicine is the treatment of symptoms with pharmaceuticals. So the pharmaceutical industry teaches doctors how to lower or how to offset symptoms. It doesn't treat how to cure. Like there are so many fucking cures for cancer, it's fucking retarded. But it's literally illegal in the United States to treat cancer with anything other than pharmaceuticals, chemotherapy, radiation, and surgery. If you use
Really?
something natural, like let's see, like a natural approach, like goddamn,
Marijuana.
what's the name of that? Delta 9 tetrahydrocannabinol, which is THC, has some effect. Yes.
I mean, there's
Gerson therapy. That was from 1896. I can't remember. But Gerson therapy is illegal in the United States because it's a form of juicing organic vegetables and fruits. Like your body. Do you guys want to continue talking about that?
Yeah,
Keep
go ahead,
going.
man. Go ahead. Go ahead.
keep going.
Oh, we told
You
you.
have any more
just
beer?
talk.
I'm not-
I've got some warm Bud Light. That's about it.
We'll
It's
drink some of
warm.
that shit. But let me tell. Okay, the majority of diseases are from either inflammation is a huge impact, but then there's also vitamin and mineral deficiencies. So let's say, have you ever heard of scurvy?
Yeah.
Okay, have you ever heard of the British people being called limeys? That's a derogatory term for British folks. Okay, so Britain used to run the world basically, and back in the days of wooden ships, yada yada. So there was a disease called scurvy. Now the British people didn't have it because a British scientist found that consuming limes offset this disease. So they would have crates full of limes. They would go out, they would pillage, pirate, fucking rape, fucking wherever the fuck. They would just take all the land because fucking Britain used to own like goddamn everything. Anyway, so people started calling them limeys because they always had limes, always ate limes, blah, blah, blah. So it turns out scurvy is actually a vitamin C deficiency. That's it. You can die of scurvy. If you don't get vitamin C, you're dead. Your
Like a
gums
guinea
rot
pig.
off, your skin fucking gets all fucking liver spots, AIDS spots, blah, blah, blah. Vitamin C is not going to help with liver spots and AIDS spots. Anyway, that's it. Throw that in there. So, I just like to keep tapping on that.
You're fine.
Yeah.
So, anyway, but that's part of how the British people won because 25% of all of their adversaries were dying of fucking scurvy. So, scurvy is actually a vitamin C deficiency. When you consume vitamin C, you don't fucking get scurvy. You don't die of scurvy. We are one of, I think, 2 mammals that don't naturally create our own vitamin C in shit like rodents, like squirrels, rats. Their intestines at times of stress actually create vitamin C. And so whenever at times of high stress, their body's like, boom, vitamin C. What's up? No scurvy, mate.
Seems effective.
Exactly. So what they would do is they would start eating the intestines of rats if they didn't have limes and shit. But they never got fucking scurvy.
Is that how they got bubonic plague?
No.
Seems like eating the intestines
That
of a rat
was-
seems like not a good idea.
No, the bubonic plague was something different, but yes, it did come from rats. And actually, people get bubonic plague to this day. There are like 3 or 4 instances of it. It's easily eradicated. Anyway, So that's how the British got so powerful, is that their scientists found out that, well, part of, because they had a shitload of fucking people. But anyway, yeah, scurvy is just a vitamin C deficiency, period. That's it. So if you took vitamin C, you're good. Have you ever heard of cystic fibrosis?
Right, yeah.
If you're pregnant and you take selenium, your child won't get cystic fibrosis. Cystic fibrosis can be ended tomorrow.
What is selenium?
Selenium is a trace mineral. You can take this trace mineral, and cystic fibrosis is a selenium deficiency. You can literally end cystic fibrosis right now. It's so fucking stupid. You can end it right now by just taking selenium.
Jeez.
Done. But do you know how much money a child with cystic fibrosis makes for the medical industry? A fucking shit ton. Do you know how much money cancer makes the medical industry? A fucking
Billions.
shit ton.
That's
Did
not
you know?
billions.
Did you know that? I think it was GlaxoSmithKline was investing tens of thousands of dollars, or no, it was millions of dollars, into researching why organic lemon juice was 10,000 times more effective at treating cancer than chemotherapy.
10,000?
10,000. Yeah. When you take chemo, you're gonna die. Your immune system's fucked. You're probably
you're
gonna die.
poisoning yourself.
It's just
right?
like mammography. Like whenever women go to take a mammogram, that research or that fucking radiation causes breast cancer. We're like, but doctors don't understand this because they are trained in which drugs lower what fucking symptoms. Then whenever they give you these drugs, it causes more fucking symptoms. So then the people in the background that are actually driving all of this, they're making money hand over fist because they're cranking out more doctors because more doctors are needed because everybody's so fucking sick. But then they're also cranking out all these pharmaceuticals that just lower like one symptom, but then introduce three. So
It's a never-ending thing.
That's how the pharmaceutical industry's gotten so damn big in the past 30,
Basically,
40
but
years.
it's also backed by shit like the agricultural industry and like all these other industries. Like, okay,
all tied
let's
together.
say diabetic shoes. Do you have a pair of diabetic shoes?
I don't have a
Do you
pair.
have a pair of diabetic shoes?
Sure don't.
No. So for
They
the
do
three
look
of us that don't have
fashionable, though.
diabetic shoes, they need somebody that's going to pay $500 for a pair of diabetic shoes. These aren't even Air Jordans. These aren't even. School's going to start in a week. I need to get my three kids, fucking a pair of Air Jordans. This is basically diabetes is not a disease. Diabetes is what's considered a metabolic expression. Whenever your pancreas can no longer create enough insulin to lower the amount of blood sugar in your system, you develop what's called diabetes because you become insulin resistant. Your pancreas has to keep working, but it can't do it. So diabetes can be cured in 2 weeks with things like cinnamon is one. Almonds. Like eating a handful of almonds with a meal will lower the glycemic index of that meal. But what's the big one? Fuck, I can't remember. Chromium. Yes, chromium. There's chromium picolinate, I think it is. Anyway, picolinate, yeah. And then there are other types of chromium. So these actually make your pancreas work better. Well, chromium used to be in food until over-farming and shit like that. And then, so there used to be like 52 or 53 different minerals in the soil, but now there are 3, 2 of which have to be added. Nitrogen, maybe potassium. I can't remember.
Well, we also eat like nothing but sugar as well.
Oh yeah. Sugar is like
every
one
meal.
of the number
corn
one
syrup.
drivers of Alzheimer's
And
but
obesity.
The fucking sugar industry's not going to let you know about that.
Yeah. It's nuts. It's like you hear about all the benefits of like a low carb, low sugar diet, like like ketogenic diet, Atkins diet. Like it's insane, not just for weight loss, but like they've done studies on autistic children, and like the results were amazing. The list goes on and on and on. When you take sugar out of your diet, like the better your body performs, the better your mental cognition gets.
Yeah.
It just it's insane.
And with autism, things like chelation will help because autism can be like, that's a really sensitive subject for a lot of people. But autism is a neurological disorder that can be caused by a tremendous amount of things, but the number one driver is heavy metals. So, like, let's say the, what are the ones with the A, B, and C? The vaccines that you get, the hepatitis, Hep A, Hep B, Hep C.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's like, I think it's the Hep B vaccine that you get as soon as you're born. That has 50 times more aluminum in it than what is considered safe by the FDA. Or is it the CDC? I can't remember. But then also, I don't want to get on this.
Fair
Then
enough.
there's the mercury thing.
So
People are
you're
like-
saying vaccines do cause autism? I've seen
that.
so much shit either way about it.
Have you ever heard the term "mad as a hatter"?
No.
Oh, about yeah, I've heard it before.
Okay, so
Jacob,
you haven't read
enlighten him.
Alice in Wonderland, the Mad Hatter?
No.
Okay, so
So anyway,
back in the day, there were people called hatters. What they did was they made hats. Well, there was a term that was derived from this because hatters would also go crazy. The reason they would go crazy is because in order to stiffen the hat, they would put something in their mouth called mercurial salt. So it's a mixture of salt and mercury. In your mouth, under your tongue, there are receptors that lead directly into your bloodstream that bypass your liver and bypass all of your body's filtration mechanisms. And so basically they were getting mercury directly into their bloodstream. So whenever they would spit this compound on the hat, that would stiffen the hat. Yay, they get some bones. You know, they get some money because they're hatters. They make fucking hats. But they would go crazy because mercury causes fucking brain damage, causes neurological disorders, such as neurological disorders. I'll let people fill in the fucking blank. That's just fucking one of them. But so does aluminum. So does, like, too much copper. Your body needs copper, but at a very small amount. But no vaccines contain copper. They primarily have aluminum adjuvants and shit like that that help the compound kind of go beyond the blood-brain barrier, because there's a barrier that keeps your brain from getting fucked up by shit that you put in your body. So they have to make shit that goes beyond that so that they can help you not get fucking hepatitis by making you a fucking vegetable, basically. But everybody has a limited, like, everybody has their own threshold. Every person is different. So, like, different fishes, like, different types of fish have different amounts of mercury. So I always used to tell my friends that they were one fucking tuna can away from being retarded, because tuna has a lot of mercury.
I eat a
You
fuck
eat
ton of
shit
tuna.
There you go, and
Anchovies.
that's why
and
your hair is
tilapia.
that color. No, I'm joking. Tilapia is lower on the food chain, so it doesn't have as much mercury. The mercury is usually in higher food chain.
Like
Salmon.
swordfish
Yes.
and
I
shit.
ate a lot of
Swordfish
salmon,
has a
tuna,
lot.
and tilapia.
Yeah.
It's like
But
3 fish.
your body can't properly rid itself of heavy metals. You get, like, zinc helps with heavy metal toxicity, but there's something called chelation, which is unfortunately illegal in Kentucky, where it's kind of like dialysis, which, do you guys know what dialysis is?
Right, yeah.
All right, so it's like a machine is your kidney, but with chelation, a machine is your kidney, but it's also taking out the heavy metals and then puts the blood back into your body. But there are other forms of chelation, like,
what does it do? Just
taking
run it
zinc,
through like
stuff
a
that.
magnet?
I don't know, but it
Maybe
Are they
something about
are they
metal.
literally
I
metals?
don't think you can magnetize aluminum. I don't
Well,
think
yeah, at
aluminum
the-
is magnetizable.
at the
Is
smallest
it?
level, yeah. Huh? What?
Can you? Is aluminum magnetized? Do you
I
have
don't
a
think so.
magnet?
Yeah, what?
I don't think so.
I bet these are aluminum. These mic
I know
stands.
these beer cans are aluminum.
Yeah, I
There
don't
needs
have any
to be
magnets
some more
though.
of
That's
these
the
beer
issue.
cans.
I don't
But-
keep those on hand typically.
That's all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah.
Oh
so
fuck,
that.
man. I've learned a fuck ton.
This has been a fucking knowledge bomb podcast
Yeah.
from out of left field, but
I'm gonna have to look up what
Went from
Vault
fishing
7
Jesus
is.
to-
yeah, started with some rough shit, but we got
Yeah.
through it.
Well, all right, man. Well, I guess I'll let you get out of here. It is a work night, but I appreciate you coming in, dude.
Yeah, it's been
My
fun,
pleasure.
dude.
We're
You'll
gonna have to
def-
have you on again.
yeah,
Definitely.
dude. It's
I feel like we just touched on like 1% of what we could have
Oh, I
talked
can talk
about.
about fucking anything.
Yeah.
Forever. Fuck, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, we will see you next time, and thanks for tuning in.
Later.
Yep, see it.